Have you not done a podcast in the past?
I listen to many podcasts.
Yeah, I was going to say you're a connoisseur of the podcast.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
We're going to pop your podcast cherry.
Yeah, well, it's been a minute, so yeah.
Don't worry, we got the lube. Welcome once again to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. I'm here with my co-hosts,
Stan Morrissey,
Obi Watson Kenobi,
and I'm Chad Cook, and we're accompanied by a very special guest, Amador Gonzalez. Hi, Amador.
I am your father.
Are you? I mean,
that's amazing.
I am adopted, so that's a pretty touchy subject.
It's a big question mark in his life, so this could be a very touching episode without the touching.
Well,
yes.
yeah. That's why we use the Force.
Oh, okay, all right.
Force yourself on someone.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, May the 4th is tomorrow, guys.
Hey, yeah, May the 4th be with you.
Well, that's right. This is the May.
This is the May. Ooh, I like that one. I haven't heard that.
Oh,
that's
that is
very
good.
nice.
That's so good.
Right.
Do you say May the 6th, right?
No,
like for
Revenge
the 5th?
of the 5th.
Oh, that's what it is. Revenge of the 5th. Okay. That makes sense.
But now, this is the May. Mm-hmm. May the 4th be with you, and Revenge of the 5th.
Okay. All right.
You just take up the whole weekend now.
Yeah.
We're trying, you know. Marketing at Lucas is working nonstop to get this all locked in.
Nice. I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
I'm sure Disney's like, we want to just take over this whole week so that we can just do whatever the hell we want and open up the parks and sell goodies.
Hey, they just had Star Wars night, and everybody was like, okay, yeah, I'll pay an extra $175 on top of...
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a grad night for the nerds?
Pretty much. That ends at 12. So
Ooh.
you don't even get to go to 2 o'clock in the morning
What?
anymore.
No.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What was it like? What did you guys do?
Yeah.
I did not pay this $175, but when friends went out, they were surprised. They had an Anakin out there. They had Chopper come out.
Very cool.
So,
I love the Chopper, like the one they showed off at Star Wars
Celebration.
Celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's been
cool.
talking about it, and the builders they already had a
scrambling.
Chopper.
They're scrambling to make it work, though, right? I'm sure.
Oh,
So I remember it was like when BB-8 came out at Celebration, everyone was like, "How does this thing work? We have to figure this out."
Oh yeah, and I mean you got Chopper, R5 from last season of Mando, and now, it's just too many things that are coming out that we won't even see till Ahsoka comes out, because there's a couple more droids that.
Oh, no, I was just, before we get too in deep.
We're getting into the weeds.
Tell us.
Explain why Amador is here.
Yeah.
Amador is part of the 501st.
Yes.
And tell us exactly what the 501st
What is the 501st? And what do
Vader's
they do?
Fist. What is it?
So, I like the emphasis on the.
You
on
really
the
push
fist.
the fist.
Could you call yourselves a band of
fists
brothers?
people.
Is that a thing?
He fists people, right? Wait.
No.
With the Force.
That's,
Oh, wait.
I think you downloaded the wrong movie.
Oh, God.
No, so the 501st is a nonprofit organization of, fellow Star Wars fans that got together, and we are under the umbrella of Lucasfilm and Disney. So we do a lot of charity work with Make-A-Wish, children's hospitals, really try to bring a lot of smiles and joy to the masses.
Right.
The organization is actually
By dressing as bad guys?
Yeah, that's one
it's
thing.
our slogan is "Bad Guys Doing Good."
Oh,
Okay.
see, that's a good
Okay.
slogan. I dig it.
That is good.
But we're worldwide. I think we're pushing about 15,000 members.
Good God.
Worldwide. Our group ourselves, the SoCal Legion, we are probably the third biggest in the world.
Jeez.
LA alone, I think, is probably the fourth by itself.
Wow.
Because I think we're over 500 members right now.
Wow.
So
When do you think world domination will happen with this?
The true empire will join up.
We're battling the Trekkies, and apparently
Those
from
damn
your
Trekkies.
yeah, and the Ghostbusters apparently are trying to make a push. So
Yeah.
we gotta keep them all
The
on at
Trekkies
bay.
501st Ghostbusters Civil War. I love it. I love it.
I survived the
I
wars.
love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, the big emphasis right now is that we're trying to be out there to just bring a positive attitude and help all these noble charities that,
Right on.
especially after the pandemic, that kind of dampened the mood. But
Yeah,
now
well-
that a lot of
Well, at least you guys are already wearing masks.
right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that is
Exactly.
true.
So, personally, how did you find your way into that, and how long you've been a member?
So actually, a coworker of mine, Sean, started working at the same company I was at about 5 years ago. Just started chatting him up because he's really into it. So he had a lot of Star Wars tattoos, his big Vader one on his arm.
Nice.
And so conversation started. We ended up going out to Scum and Villainy, having a couple of drinks. And within that time, I had pretty much bought everything I needed
Nice.
to start off as a TIE Pilot Reserve. Because that's like the easiest one to kind of get into it.
Mhm.
TIE Pilot Reserve.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So you have your officers. The reserve ones are basically just a jumpsuit, belt, gloves, boot, and the hat.
Mm.
And so it's so we have what's called a CRL, which is a costume reference library.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go on their site, you can look it up, and they'll kind of give you the specifics of what you need to
Right.
be approved. Because it all has to be screen accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And so on the websites, you can go and they'll give you certain websites you can kind of go and check it out.
Right. Did you do any cosplay before joining up, or was this your
No,
first
this
kind of
was
jump
actually,
into it?
I mean, besides doing Halloween,
Right.
Yeah.
this was the first all in.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And so got that. Took about maybe 3 weeks to get approved because you
Mhm.
have to submit pictures, and they get approved by a committee of usually 2 to 3 people,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the details on the costume. Because sometimes with a TK stormtrooper,
Right.
it takes a little bit more because it depends on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And how high end, you have your mud troopers, you have your guards, and your basic
Right.
stormtrooper. So it kind of goes into levels.
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
But mine, because it's such a simple costume, doesn't take that long.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets your foot in, and then from that you can start upgrading it, which I ended up doing, and now I am a TIE pilot.
Hey,
Oh,
congratulations!
nice.
So I'm a TIE pilot
Or
for
TIE pilot license.
TIE pilot for a New Hope movie.
Oh,
Okay.
So that one's specific.
For that one specific.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a change between that one and the other movies?
Yes.
Oh.
Just by a couple of buttons. Just this last season of Mandalorian, you saw
Yeah.
a couple
Oh,
of
yeah,
TIE
yeah,
pilots going in. So they had to make a couple of changes to it.
Now, did you want to do New Hope? You were like, oh, that's the one I want versus the Empire Strikes Back, or
Well,
Return
yeah,
of the Jedi?
New Hope was probably, my entry, like everybody, of watching Star Wars, unless you grew up with the prequels. So for me, it was just okay, New Hope, that's the one I want to do.
See, I was a kid in the '80s, and I think I probably saw Return of the Jedi first
Yeah.
because
I'm
it
the
was
same
on
way.
TV growing up. So for me,
Yeah, that
Ewoks
sounds
were the
familiar.
jam. It was my jam.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people hate on the Ewoks, but I was like, but that was my go-to. So for me,
Yeah.
green lightsabers all the way, baby,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
Luke had the green one in that one. So that was for me. So I don't know, but I was like, so for you, that first movie though, that was your jump in point.
That was the one that, when VHSs in '86 got introduced, I played that to death.
Mm.
So, and those things were expensive back then.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I was
big
like,
time.
Yeah.
Nice humble brag, rich kid.
It was just, my dad.
Would you say that was your main nerd fandom at the time, or were you into multiple things? I know there weren't the MCU back then, and only a few DC films were coming out at the time, obviously. But
I mean, you had the original Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You
Yep.
had Back to the Future just
Hell
down the
yeah.
road.
Yeah.
But I mean, Last Starfighter was also
Hell
probably
yeah.
a
Last
big one.
Starfighter, yeah.
That was another big one that I I wish there was a big fandom for it, but
Yeah, that one never really got
It's
the
it's
push.
a little obscure.
It's
a
one of
little
the
obscure.
first CGI movies. Like,
That's
it's got
right,
CGI
yeah.
sequence in like an 80s,
Yeah.
84 that movie came out,
Yeah.
something like
I
that.
believe so.
I remember
crazy.
the Nintendo video game was incredibly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Incredibly difficult. Yeah.
and there have been talks of trying to reboot that one
Mhm.
for years now.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a simple premise
Yeah.
that could easily, I mean, with the gaming world that is out there today, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't have to be an arcade or maybe, you know, you do like a Tron
Like retro.
legacy thing, and like
Yeah.
they find the gaming cabinet. Ooh, what is this? And then
Right.
they get
Yeah.
Yeah, they made a
Looked away.
reference to it in Ready Player One.
ah.
Oh, they did.
They did?
Yeah.
So yeah, because it was one of the vehicles that you see when they're
Yeah.
doing the
Oh.
last battle.
Oh man, I have to rewatch that
interesting.
movie.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen it since it was in theaters.
Oh, I just
Yeah.
recently saw it. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
good.
crazy that's a Spielberg movie. I feel
I
like
know.
Spielberg was on set for like 2 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll do the stuff when they're in live action. And
I think, you know.
I
Oh,
always
the
wondered
town
if he even
kids.
knew what half that stuff was. You know?
Right, right.
He's a geek, but he doesn't seem like he's
well,
like a
and
pop
he's
culture
kind of
geek,
the
you know?
the gatekeeper for a lot of the stuff that's
sure.
in that movie.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
it's
Yeah.
like Transformers, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Like he
Yeah.
Yeah.
produced all of that. So
if
it's
it
like,
wasn't
yeah,
for
yeah.
him, I don't think that movie,
That movie
would
wouldn't
be
have
made.
made-
I mean, no way. No way
and
would have made. No
it's
way.
still like the book is so great and like vast with the stuff that they could do. Like in the book, it's just like, you know, there's a lot of Star Wars reference, a lot of stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Well, they cut out the whole war games section.
yes,
And that was the one that, really got
yeah, it
into
was
it.
weird to do The Shining. I
Yeah.
feel like that was a Warner
Yeah.
Bros. Note of like, so we're doing this Doctor Sleep movie. Can you please just mention
Well, no,
The Shining?
it was Steven Spielberg didn't want to reference his own movie, so that's why he did The Shining instead of what was it originally supposed to be? there?
War Games.
War games, but that wasn't Spielberg.
No, there was I forget what else.
Oh, they were going to try and tie in another Spielberg film.
Yeah,
in?
and then he was like, "No, I let's do
Mm.
something that's not mine," and that's why they went with
With the Shining.
with The Shining.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll have to try and remember what that
And
was, but
it's a great sequence in the movie.
no, I love
it's
that was my favorite
crazy.
sequence early in the movie.
But it was just an odd choice.
Oh,
So,
the-
like when I think of like geeky movies, The Shining isn't the first thing. That's
Right.
very much like a film kids like.
I mean, yeah.
You know, like I'm a film geek, so I love The Shining. But
Yeah.
in Kubrick, but and they tie in the story really well in the movie, where it's like the date that they didn't take or something like
Mhm.
that, and I was like, okay. But
Yeah,
anyway, that's a tangent.
The whole Gundam scene is so great.
The
I just
Gundam
watched it.
scene, that was. I was surprised they got the rights to that because I think in the
Yeah.
book he turns into Ultraman,
Astro Boy.
Astro Boy.
Oh.
It was Astro Boy,
okay.
I believe.
And so
Remember
yeah,
the
I was like, I don't know if they're gonna get that to do that, but and they got like the Mech Godzilla in
All
there.
that was missing was Luke Skywalker to show up in there.
Yeah.
but we didn't get
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
Yeah, we missed that in the actual Star Wars movies as well. So.
Oh,
Back to
Nice segue.
Come on.
Wow,
That
put
was a good
those-
segue.
Put those
Back to-
wheels back on the rails.
See,
there.
with that being said, back to the 501st. What are some of the things that you guys do in terms of charity or awareness for charities? What's some of the stuff that you've been involved in personally?
So the big ones that we like to do is Make-A-Wish Foundation. We like to work with them a lot. Locally, we try to do as many children's hospitals visits as we can, especially after the pandemic. We're making a big push of being more local charity involved.
Yeah.
So that's the big emphasis, the big push right now. We also do high-profile events like premieres and stuff like that. But
Birthdays?
no birthdays. I mean,
Bar mitzvahs, weddings.
I can get dressed up on a Party City, budget, and
There you go.
All right, okay.
I think
I'll be your Juan Solo.
Juan Solo. That's good. My first experience, I think, with the 501st was I went to a Weird Al concert. I had a friend who was a huge, shout out to Rob Kyle, huge Weird Al fan. And we went to see him play, I think, in Orange County at the county fair, and he did Yoda and a few other songs,
Oh, wow.
and the 501st were there, and they marched out on stage, and it was very cool.
Yeah.
And then we got to go backstage, and they were all there, and we chatted to them because they had a couple of the droids and stuff. So we talked about how making the droids and the suits and everything, and that was when I first kind of was like, oh, there's this, it's a thing, like this is a whole thing that people get into, and instead of just going to like a con and dressing up or a Halloween party or something like that, like
So that's how it kind of started that way. The guys that started it were Alvin Johnson and Tom Cruise. Not that Tom Cruise. But they started it back in 1997.
I would love it if it was that Tom Cruise. He's just, really love Star Wars.
But they started at a local con in their hometown, and people got wind of it, and they just kind of started like this email chat of like,
how long ago did they set all this up?
So they started this in 97, and then it just started progressing, and it didn't culminate of how big it got until 2007, when George Lucas was actually the Grand Marshal at the Rose Parade. And so that's when they had like this big turnout. And after that, they started talking to George Lucas, and that's when Lucas actually agreed to let them use the intellectual property of his for this, for the charity events. And
pulled
stuff
out
like
lightsaber and just like
just knighted them
right then and there.
Kind of knighted it. I mean, and
sure, you guys do what you want.
So that's why we like anything that we do, we still have to go through Lucas and Disney to make sure that we get the okay to do. So even with events, the big no-nos is trying to promote it or do it for cash.
Right.
We frown upon that. That's not what we do. We do it for ourselves and for the charities, and just in general, just to bring happiness.
That's great.
But yeah, so officially it's 2007. Unofficially it's 1997.
Gotcha.
So.
And now, has things been more restricted with Disney getting involved? Like, are they like, because they have, with the parks and everything, they have their own troopers there and their own, they have their own stuff over in Batu. So are they coming down harder on you guys, or is it more like there's a little bit more oversight?
So, I mean, we self-regulate ourselves. We have a leadership, like a chain of command, like everything else in the military. And so we try to make sure that we have as little involvement from them as possible, because if they get involved, then we know
you're in trouble.
We're in trouble.
Yeah.
So there have been maybe a handful of instances, but for the majority of the part, we take care of ourselves, and we self-govern ourselves to make sure that we don't cross that line. Because especially once Disney got involved, it became more of like, okay, we gotta really not make the mouse overlord mad.
Right, absolutely.
Could anyone from the park who plays a stormtrooper, would you still have to vet them to join the 501st?
Well, yeah, because they have to get their own suit. They can't take it.
Yeah, they can't take it. Yeah.
Well, and theirs are very specific to the later movies, the series with Rey.
Yeah.
So does that matter? Like, can you guys like if I wanted to dress up as, I really loved in Andor the shore troopers that show up in there. I love the suits. I think they're great. Yeah. And like, so if I was like, I want to do the Andor suit, would it be like, we only do original trilogy, or we do,
No. So that's why we have the CRL, the Costume Reference Library. We have people that are in contact with Lucas, and then they kind of give us like the breakdown on the outfits. Some people take it on themselves. I know when Mandalorian came out, a lot of people used screenshots and just got to work right away to make it as screen accurate as possible before we had that kind of reference.
I was going to say, are you watching the new seasons going like, ooh, I like that one?
I do have a lot of friends that just, at first they'll watch this show, and then if there's a certain costume in the background that catches their eye, they'll go after that. Like, the big breakout scene in Andor when they have their jailbreak.
Yeah. The jailer's outfits.
Yeah.
I figured those would be
One
cool.
Way Out.
Yeah.
So that just got approved.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've heard those are very popular for some reason.
Yeah, especially with Celebration London, because Andy Serkis was there.
Yeah, I saw the footage of, they did a screening of Andor, and there was a lot of people in the crowd dressed up as the prisoners.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, it's a simple, white jumpsuit kind of look. So
that's so weird. It's that costume has really caught fire.
It's
so weird. It's
it's one of the easier ones and probably most comfortable ones, to be honest.
That's true.
It's like you don't even wear shoes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so I have a friend that actually does a lot of the seamstress kind of stuff to make those outfits.
Yeah.
It is so layered.
Really?
Because it has so many different types of fabric
Wow.
that it is not that easy to make.
Oh wow. Okay,
Wow.
so there's
Okay.
something.
Yeah, so that's why with the CRL that we have, it is very specific of what you can use to make the outfit. And because once you make the outfit, you submit the pictures, you have a panel of people that actually have to approve you. And if you don't get approved, they'll send you an email and be like, okay, can you make this tweak here?
Right.
I need this a little bit smaller, a little bit longer.
That was my next question. How is it? What's the process? So let's say I join the 501st tomorrow. I get approved for whatever the vetting process is to join, and then say I want to submit like a Boba Fett costume. How does that work? How do I start? So do I take pictures of the costume I'm working on and submit it? How does it? What's the process?
So, I mean, like I said, you can go on to the websites, the 501st website, and go into their CRL webpage. It'll show the breakdown of the parts that you need. Gives you like the group website you can go to purchase it and put it together.
It's got the links to it.
Yeah.
To purchase.
Okay.
You can go there, or you can, Facebook usually has a lot of Star Wars groups that you can do it, or you can do it on your own. And you take the pictures, you submit it. Usually takes a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, depending on the.
Now, is like Etsy a good place to go to find parts for stuff? Cause
Some of it, yes.
but it might not be accurate.
Might not be accurate,
Right.
and usually they'll be straight with you. They'll say,
Right.
okay, we have had 501st approved outfits.
Oh, there you go.
This might
And-
need a bit of tweaking, but
He brought up Boba Fett, Mandalorian. Would that he be approved by the 501st, or are you guys just do Imperial?
no, that one would be actually it's a dual now.
Oh,
So that would be also with the Rebel Legion.
oh, you swing both ways.
See,
Yeah.
there we go. Yeah.
So there are certain costumes just because of the way the movie or the show breaks down,
Right.
it could be approved.
Because I thought a good hack for that was, spoiler on the last season Mandalorian, was those new Dark Trooper suits.
yeah, it was. Yeah, how does that
which
work? Is
I saw
Imperial?
that going like,
Yeah.
Daddy want one of those.
Yeah.
Because they got like that Mandalorian flair.
Right.
But they've got the Stormtrooper coloring and everything.
Yeah, at this point, I would say it probably land more on the 501st
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
because the Darth Maul is leading
Right.
them. So
Yeah, yeah.
Same with the Praetorian Guard.
yes, those are
Ooh,
definitely
those are sick.
Yeah,
Would you ever want to reach or eventually be part of the Praetorian Guard?
Yeah,
I
what's
would-
the ultimate costume
like-
for you? Where do you want
Yeah.
to
Where?
be?
What's the?
if I was a little bit taller, it would be probably Darth Vader.
Of course.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
You can wear some stilts, some lifts.
I've
boots.
seen a couple of friends that get the risers on the boots and stuff
Uh-huh.
like that, but
Because
So how does
you're
it
not
break-
a short guy, by the way. Just put that out there.
not sure, but you got a little bit of the belly, and you.
That's what girdles are for, man.
Wow.
Just tighten her up.
How does it break down with?
Darth Vader in his later years? He wasn't as svelte as
Yeah,
Hayden
he
Christensen.
looked. He didn't look as in shape.
Yeah,
at the
when
end.
that mask came off, he was a kind of.
a little bit of a dope
That's-
boy.
that was
Little
that was
doughy
Darth
there.
Vader the whole time.
I think that was some of the burns that
Yeah.
just
Yeah, that's some of the
Inflated
flesh.
inflammation.
I need more bacteria.
Yeah, the original Force Ghost was,
Yeah.
he hadn't hit the gym in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But how do you guys have a certain amount of people who can be like, say, Darth Vader or the Emperor or whoever?
Oh, yeah.
Is there a set amount, or is it just like anybody can submit for that costume?
Anybody can submit. It just and then what happens is depending on the events, usually on the not high profile events, but
You only want like one Vader
one
show up.
one
right?
Vader, because you don't want to
Yeah.
distract and be like, why is there
That's two
Darth
Vaders.
Vaders,
Yeah.
right? But we now have you can have one Darth Vader, one Darth Maul, one Palpatine, and then you can always have.
So it doesn't matter timeline wise. If you have like you're not just going like, okay, we're just doing like the New Hope series of
Right.
movies, or it's like you can mix and match there, so you can have like like a Finn trooper mixed in with some old school troopers.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
If you all were doing the clone troopers, would instead of the Emperor, it would be the Chancellor version of him?
Oh, that's a good question.
yeah. Chancellor seems to be the big popular one. Now with Ahsoka coming out,
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
you know who's coming.
Yep.
Have you guys watched any of Rebels or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you
I
can
mean,
say-
we
yeah,
could
go
say
ahead,
Thrawn.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, I don't know.
it's
You know,
supposed to be
You who
spoiler.
cannot be named.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Thrawn. But yeah.
Do you guys also have standards for Thrawn?
That we will see because
Ah.
I think
Not
we
until you
have
see him
a
on screen,
handful.
right?
Yeah, we only have a handful just because of the cartoons.
Right.
I was gonna say, do you guys do the animated
We-
looks too?
Yeah, we did start doing the clones outfits.
Because I would love to do like
Ahsoka.
the Bad Batch has like some of my favorite suits.
Yeah, those have become really big.
Because I've seen a few like homemade, Bad Batch suits at cons and stuff.
Yeah,
we're-
like
we-
WonderCon, we had.
Yeah,
a
we all
couple
met up at
guys.
WonderCon just
Yeah.
to put it out there. We all went to WonderCon. We saw Amador there
Yeah.
manning the 501st booth,
Yep.
and we I don't think we've talked about the backstory at all. We've known Amador for years,
Oh yes.
like going back to the Reading Rainbow days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I joined year 2
Yeah,
of the Rainbows.
and you got Stan in.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You want to explain how you got into the
So
Bros?
I was listening to Kevin Smith's podcast from Scum and Villainy, and Batman or Fat Man on Batman when it used to be called that.
Yep, that's Fat Man Beyond.
Batman, yeah, and so there
Because
is
he
a.
lost all the weight.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, well, good for him. He
He had a heart attack, by the way. So.
yeah,
That happened, yeah.
That's why he lost a lot of weight.
And if anyone doesn't know, Scum and Villainy is a bar here in LA that is
Star Wars themed.
well, they can't say that officially.
Exactly.
It's a
It's-
intergalactic
Yeah,
cantina.
and they have different stuff in there.
Right.
They have a Klingon batlet on the on the
Yeah,
wall,
you
which
know,
is,
they serve some kind
Yeah.
of blue milky liquid.
milky.
I still haven't been there myself.
Oh,
So we
wait.
gotta take
yeah,
you.
we gotta go.
Oh, we
How
gotta go,
how
dude.
have you not?
I just haven't, I thought it was some kind of like just
All right.
cheesy thing. I didn't know it was a bigger.
Post in the comments if you want Chad to go, and we'll take video of it,
Yes.
and we'll dress him up as a Rancor.
You can they
Ooh.
roll a die to see what drink you can get.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
the guy that handled the Rancor,
Oh,
basically in a diaper.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's that.
Oh.
He
Okay,
was just a child.
if
And
we
you go
get,
there, you go in there
yeah.
crying because your Rancor just died.
yeah. There you go. And then we'll buy you your blue milk.
Yeah, if
There
we
you
get
go.
100 listens to this episode, we're getting Chad to dress up as a Rancor.
And then I'll have a hand puppet of Salacious Crumb, just
Yeah.
on the side.
Ho, ho, ho. That's my best Boba, or not Boba.
For Darth Vader's suit, is there variations to it at all, or is it just always the same regardless of the movie and cartoon? Because I know the same chess piece is probably.
No, actually, that's why you have to be specific of what Vader you want to be.
Really?
Because
Oh, really?
each incarnation of Vader, it changes up.
That's true. That's true.
And so that's why, like, when we go to Galaxy's Edge and you look at, like, Darth Maul, you look at the troopers.
Yeah.
Are you constantly critiquing?
Oh, always. that's and
When you go to
that's-
Galaxy's Edge, you're critiquing?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, and we...
Is
Isn't
that
that,
supposed to be-
isn't that the source material?
Well, that's supposed to be the best.
you would
of the
think
best.
so?
Yeah.
You think so, but, like,
Your Kylo Ren's a little off, bro.
right? Like, isn't your saber a little bit short?
Oh,
You know, like...
way to cut a man down.
Yeah.
No, it is funny because we do have a couple of members that work at Galaxy's Edge, and so they kind of gave input and like, this doesn't look right, or this looks a little flimsy.
To Disney themselves.
Yeah,
Oh,
Interesting.
and some of the stuff too that they sell at Galaxy's Edge, is supposed to be approvable, but
right.
not really.
Really? Wow.
Really?
Yeah,
So
Wow.
they're ripping us off. Is that what you're saying? Is that an official statement from
That's-
Amador?
I can neither.
Got
Confirm or
you. We got you,
deny.
Disney. We got you now.
$200 for a Darth Maul lightsaber?
Enter the
Screw
Nerdom's coming after you with all our fan base.
That's
Oh,
right.
man.
The millions and millions of.
Fans,
This is
yes.
where I have to leave. I'm sorry. I do not want to anger
Wait,
the
you're the
mouse.
official mouthpiece of the 501st, right? So we can
Yeah.
claim.
We could quote you on this, right?
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, why are you doing air quotes?
What's probably the hardest costume to get approved or just to get put together?
Thinking about it right
Sexy
now.
Palpatine. Nothing under the robes, baby.
Why couldn't you just say slave Leia, man? Come on.
Well, we're not allowed to use a slave word anymore.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
It's like slave one. Nope.
Nope, it's
Nope.
Boba
No, that's
Fett's
gone.
ship.
I still call it a slave one.
Yeah. Anybody that's old school.
I'm allowed to.
Yeah, I didn't want to go there.
Wow, there he goes.
All right, that's it. That's all
Playing
I'm
the
doing.
card,
All
ladies
right,
and gentlemen.
sorry.
There I guess right now, I mean, the Vader is going to be the hardest one to do. Like, I've done troops with a couple of friends that are Vader, and the amount of sweat.
Oh, because it's just vacuum sealed into a leather outfit. Like it's the ultimate gimp suit.
Pretty much, and especially when they're half dressed.
And Amador knows gimp suits. Everybody,
He knows.
he's wearing one right now.
Well, yeah. Nobody gave me like the dress attire. I was just like, I want to come comfortable. This is what
Exactly.
I wear.
So
Yeah,
if you
wear
hear a
leather
lot of
mask.
vinyl on vinyl squeaking around, you know
Leather
why.
mask. Yeah.
I was gonna bring the leather, but it's a little hot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Vader's probably the hardest one that I've seen a lot of people struggle with. There's a couple of guys that can go all day without even taking a break.
Really?
It.
Wow.
And then there are some that I do it, and like within an hour, they're like, okay, I gotta sit down and kind of dress down for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Is it heavy? Is that why?
It is heavy. Same with anybody that does Chewbacca.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
know.
I
My
can
buddy
imagine that
Jake
one,
does a
yeah.
Chewbacca. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
They're great, but they are just also, you're wearing a rug.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You're
true.
walking
yeah.
around.
Oh, yeah.
So we try to do those. Like we tell a lot of them, if it's a children's hospital because it's air conditioned, it's a lot easier to walk around and be out for a long period of time. But if we're doing an outdoor event, we try to accommodate for that.
Well, does anyone go full Vader and like shave their head and blue their face up? With in Return of the Jedi.
Well, so like
Full boiled egg mode.
Yeah.
so I think there's a couple of people working on after Obi-Wan.
Oh,
Okay.
the half mask look.
The half
Oh,
mask
that'd be
look.
dope.
It's a
Yeah.
great look.
Yeah,
I
That
mean,
is a good
yeah,
look.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Actually, you
video
should say that's a
game
Rebels look, not
Yeah.
they did
Ooh.
it first.
It's true.
Rebels
true.
did do it first.
It's true. Ahsoka
Well,
did it first.
technically, they did it first in what was the video game? It was the with-
Unleashed.
Unleashed. Yeah, I
with the
think
Star
they
Killer?
did they did like the battle damage look
Oh,
for
okay.
Vader
right,
and that.
Right,
And I was
right.
like, that looks good because I remember there was an action figure that came out for that.
See,
And I
that's the
can't
one. That's the one that I wish they would allow because
The Star Killer look is
the
dope.
Star Killer look is probably one of the best ones for Jedi, or
Yeah.
Dark Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
But they haven't, they haven't brought it into canon yet.
They kind of teased it with this. Was it with Andor? No, Amador.
Thank you.
With Andor, you see his armor
Hanging up in the back,
in the
in the
back.
closet.
So you're like,
Yeah.
little nod. I see that. I
Yeah.
see what you're doing there.
I actually have Star Killer's lightsaber.
Oh,
That's
really?
if
Oh,
it was
nice.
my first lightsaber was I won it at one of our Christmas parties.
oh, rad.
I outbid myself apparently.
No,
But-
you're wrong. No, you're wrong. It's worth this much.
No, I had the winning bid, and then my buddy jumped in and said, "No, he has the higher bid." I'm like, "Dude, I do," because I think it was like 220, and when he jumped in, it went up to 240. I'm like, "How did I just outbid
Costing me
myself by
money.
$20?"
Right. I think your friend owes you $20.
Yeah,
is what
but,
it is.
That sounds right.
So how many lightsabers you got in total now?
Because I'm more on the 501st side.
Uh-huh.
I only have 3. I have 3.
Only
lightsabers.
3.
Now, what brand of lightsabers are those? Because, like, I know there's
So my
many.
Star Killer's it's a custom one,
Mhm.
custom built by one of our members.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I remember who it was. It's been a minute.
We'll edit that in later.
Yeah. I have for D23. I bought Rey's lightsaber.
Oh, nice. Yeah. The yellow one.
No, the one for
Anakin. I mean,
what was this?
Skywalker saber, right?
Yes.
Oh, with the fix in the center one. The one where
The
it,
one
got
before they got
busted.
destroyed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I
The Vader saber.
The Vader saber.
Yeah.
Or Luke saber.
Luke.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Luke
Luke
saber.
yeah.
Whoa, yeah.
And then I got a Yoda.
Oh,
And that
okay.
one's the...
Is it really small?
It's a itty bitty
It's-
saber.
It's not as long as a regular saber.
Well, no,
but-
I mean like the hilts because like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got small hands.
He's got
so it's
tiny
like
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hilt's a little bit, you look like a giant, like Andre
Yeah.
the Giant holding
Okay.
it. I would like to use your saber.
That was a terrible Andre the Giant.
Is that what that was? Okay.
It's just thought you were having a stroke.
Anybody want a peanut?
That's on point.
That is not our audio, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man. But yeah, so I only have 3 sabers. Not, I was thinking at
Do you guys have
WonderCon.
sabers?
I mean,
You've
the
seen
only,
mine in my office.
I know.
Right? I'll show you afterwards.
I had Darth
It's an
Maul's
audio
back,
media, so you have to
Yeah.
talk about it.
back when.
what kind of saber are you going to show him, though?
Oh, jeez.
Like you said, back in the office.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
show you.
Yeah.
His, his flesh saber. I don't
Oh.
know.
No, I mean, you're wearing the gimp suit, dude. So.
Well, okay. Well,
I mean,
that's
that's
why
true.
I want to be included.
You want to get back in the trunk? We'll put you back in the trunk. But back when Phantom Menace first came out, I had the Darth Maul saber,
dual?
the dual,
Yeah.
that was already kind of
Yeah.
already extended. You just flick it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had the
But
same one.
I would like to get the one from the park, but I don't want to spend that kind of money on that.
Right,
It's
so that's what I
ridiculous.
have. I have Darth Maul's, and then I have Luke's, and then I have one that I made at the Galaxy's Edge lightsaber experience.
Okay.
It's cool. I mean, I went with the Jedi, the light, the Path of Light, whatever it is, because you can choose your different lights. So I went with that one. It's okay. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you saw the booth at WonderCon.
yeah.
So they have really good lightsabers, but because it's Lucas license, they change the names. But once you look at them and you hold them,
Yeah.
you know who's who.
Yeah.
Those are pretty popular. Those are really good, especially because when we do events during the day, we need the lightsaber to pop.
Yeah.
So they understand that. So they do special
Rigs on them.
rigs on them to make them pop, and you can see them during the day.
Nice.
Who has the best battle ready lightsabers? Like ones you can actually whack around the other swords with and not like damage it too much, or is durable enough to.
I think there's a company called like Dark Saber. I want to say
Darksaber is one of them.
they make really good ones for
There's another
battling.
guy on Etsy that really. See, I should have given you a list.
No, it's all good.
But-
This is Gotcha Media, baby.
Yeah, I know, but no. If you go on Etsy, there is a company that does
Yeah.
battle.
Yeah, because
battle-ready sabers.
the ones, the Hasbro ones and the Disney Parks one, they're good to show off, but not like you see those guys battle at cons and stuff, and they're going full bore, like they're just going nuts. Like,
But do they make the sounds as well? It's not.
yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
they're
okay.
they're all like you said, there's kind of third party done, and we'll do some links or something because there's some really great builders out there that build battle sabers, and the blades on them won't crack, and like stuff like
Yeah.
that. So very, very beautifully done. And
Because I got to defend my home.
I've seen some really beautiful custom lightsabers and custom hilts. Well, they'll do it like a Deadpool lightsaber or like Doctor Who or stuff like that, and it's some beautiful work out there.
Yeah, because we do have a group called the Saber Guild, and those are the ones that you see that do the performances with those battle ready lightsabers. And I believe if you go on their link, you should be able to find like if they're vendors.
Oh,
So, but those are great. And then they do also a lot of the training, so they'll show you how to wield the lightsaber and choreograph a fight.
like I know there's the fencing academy in like Burbank or whatever. They have their own saber part of it that they do, and I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the one custom I always wanted to buy was, I think it's from one of the comic books, but there's a Jedi who has like a tonfa, so like a nightstick looking hilt with the lightsaber coming in. I always thought that was cool, just because it's very Nightwing-esque.
In the Solo movie, Paul Bettany had that dagger
the
one,
dagger,
right?
yeah.
Do they even make that for anybody?
I've never seen the dagger as like
I'm
something.
pretty sure you can find it.
That movie they were like, we're just gonna not do any merchandising with that.
Except Han Solo's blaster, I'm sure
Right.
people made that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you saw the origin of where the blaster came from.
Well, yeah, and
It's
his
like,
name,
that was always
he
a
was
big
by
mystery.
himself. That was,
I just remember
he's Solo.
like, when I was a kid, me and my friend James, we were in like shop class, and we built lightsabers out, getting some like metal rod and a dowel, and we painted the dowels like even red and green because yet again, greens rock. And, you know, it's like we built our own lightsabers and we went outside and we just like started whacking the hell out of each other.
Did
and,
this
like,
end in detention?
it ended with us almost breaking our necks because we, you know, like we were like going to town with it. And we broke them pretty quickly. But, you know, at that point it was like, you know, it was early 90s. Star Wars wasn't really like the first trilogy came out and then there was like nothing until 97,
well, no,
98.
when they re-released them,
Right.
the specialized edition.
But there was like no real merch out, so we just like, well, build our own. And like now it's like, I got one.
Well, actually, no, they had they had some for PlayStation 1, the Star Wars games, Dark Force.
Oh, like the X-Wing games and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, they had video games.
Yeah,
I mean, but it was in between comics.
Yeah, but it was a dry patch for a while.
For a long time.
Yeah.
We were thirsty.
Well, which ones are your, like, what was your intro movie? What was your favorite, like, Star Wars movie?
Well, I mean, like I said, Return of the Jedi probably was
Mine
what really pushed it for me, because that was the one that was kind of, it was funny, like for me, like that one, and like and for Indy it was like Temple of Doom were always on TV. Like when I started really remembering, like I have a clear memory of Christmas like 87 and watching Return of the Jedi on TV, you know, and just being like, and it was like the Yoda scene where, you know, Yoda passes and I'm just like, oh, that's a cool character. I wonder what's up with that guy. You know, like, you know, because I didn't see any of the other stuff. So
did you get to go see it for the limited 40th anniversary release?
No, I didn't. I just heard about that they re-released it in theaters recently.
Yeah, I went to see it twice already.
Out or no?
Oh, nice.
I believe it is till May the 4th, till tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
No, I at least I was looking on the AMC app today, and I didn't see it up for because of Guardians is coming out.
Oh man,
that's right.
I think that's getting pushed out. Yeah.
Oh, it's a shame, because I would love to have seen that in the big screen.
The pop reaction, like, you know, this movie's been out for 40 years.
Yeah.
And now, you know, I saw a lot of families taking the little ones.
Now is it the special edition version, or is it?
That's all they're gonna.
The Cantina band with the.
So that's one thing I do own.
What was those lyrics again?
So that's the one thing that I'm proud to own is I own the Laserdisc, the original Laserdisc.
Oh, nice.
Wow, okay.
I got the VHSs somewhere.
I have the the original trilogy released on DVD, but it has the specialized edition. And I bought that, and I'm like, I'm never selling that because I see that online as a.
I doubt
commodity.
you'll ever see those versions, you know, unless Disney gets real smart and like, excuse me. Excuse me.
Well, they said they were going to do that, but they never did.
Supposedly, they'll release them on Disney Plus, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
We have to control the narrative.
But if you've ever had the chance to actually watch the originals,
right?
That's
It's like,
I mean, on
it's
TV,
like
it
aged like fine wine.
It's like one of those things. Like, why aren't they always in theaters like every other year or something? Because they would just, you know, they'll always make money.
Well, I think it will just, it would bring in a new generation. Like seeing it the last two times, you know, for the 40th anniversary, and just seeing everybody bring in their families and seeing the expression on these kids just being like, what the heck am I watching?
Right.
This is amazing.
Yeah,
it would. And especially for us older generation, we would definitely just be here, just keep taking our money. Even though it's on Disney Plus and I own every single copy.
I don't care. I want to watch on the big screen.
Well, apparently, like I do that because a lot of a lot of theaters out here in LA for anniversaries or just like the new Bev, they'll play older movies, and I go and see movies that I never got to see on the big screen because I was too young, or I just missed them, and I've only seen them on. I know. I can't. I asked my mom to take me, but she says no, and then I got to fight her, and this whole thing.
She's gonna come pick you up in about an hour.
Yeah,
so.
I know. I think I'm.
We gotta hurry this up.
But there's so many movies that I caught in theaters. Like I got to see the original Tim Burton Batman, and when they did an anniversary, and I was seeing them on the big screen is worth it. I'd say. That's why I was disappointed I didn't get to do the 40th for Return, because that's my favorite as well. I saw that out of context, and I'm jealous of those kids on YouTube that get to see Empire and get
for the first time. I love those like.
And now I never get that. I never get it. I never got it.
There's that great video of this little girl's watching. She's probably like 6 or 7, and she's watching Empire, and she turns to her dad. Right at that pivotal moment where Vader reveals who he is to Luke, and she turns to him and is he really his dad? like shocked. Like, is that true?
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, and this is only, not even 10 years ago that this
Right.
clip came. It's amazing.
Everything's new if it's the first time you've seen it.
That's
That's
right.
why I wish I was in Quantum Leap, so then I could jump into some younger kid's body. This is normal.
Okay, hold on.
Quantum
No,
Leap.
we're gonna end that
Quantum-
sentence right there.
No, so then I could experience the Empire Strikes Back scene.
is it the
Okay.
Bakula? Is it the Scott Bakula Quantum Leap or?
Yeah,
Oh.
Scott Bakula.
Oh,
Quantum Leap,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
But he never jumped into a kid's body, did he?
hold on now. Allegedly.
No, there were some people that were young adults. I would say they weren't
they're-
like. They weren't like.
I think they're like,
they early 20s maybe, or
yeah.
There was the famous Jimmy episode.
I think there was a teen or two because I remember like we're
Jimmy
racing our cars.
Yeah, look
and,
it up.
Oh God.
We're gonna see who goes the fastest before someone crashes, and then.
Oh yeah, he was. He had Down syndrome, didn't he? Is
Yeah,
that one?
yeah.
Oh yeah, we don't quote that one. That's not.
Yeah.
And the woman was like trying to take advantage of him or something.
Yeah.
I remember now.
It's a great
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Classic television.
We see.
Oh
Man.
God.
Chad,
Jesus.
you are revealing too much.
My dreams come true.
No, I mean,
They read my fanfic.
Do you want the peanut?
no, I mean, like I was interested in rewatching something, and I came across that episode. It's a good episode.
It's a great
No, it's a
episode.
great
No,
episode.
it's
Yeah.
good.
Great episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was this on
Timing
the
is-
dark web when you were looking it up, or?
No, this was all legit. Like,
I thought it got scrubbed on all.
It's all on
servers.
Peacock, everybody.
Peacock.
well, I was able to find it.
It's a great episode.
You don't have to pull out the knife. I believe you. Like, relax.
We're dueling
Oh my
right
God.
now.
Oh,
So how is the 501st in your chapter? How's it regimented? Is there somebody who's like in charge of like the how does it, is the chapter like? Is it
Sam
broken
wants to
into?
take control of.
Yeah, I do.
first.
I'm looking to coup this person.
Yeah,
Is it? Is it? I mean, that's what we do as Imperials, right?
There you go.
Is it set up as like different platoons, or is there somebody in charge of how does it work? Like who? If you're in the 501st, like who do you, for lack of a better word, report to? How does that work?
So we are the LA chapter, and we're the LA garrison, not chapter. So actually, my friend Joe Amara just became head of our group, and so we have 5 that break up Southern California. So you have Inland Empire, Orange County, Los Angeles, Antelope, and Sands, which is San Diego.
Okay.
Huh?
So those are the 5 main ones for Southern California. Then you have Golden Gate, which is San Francisco, and I feel like I'm missing one more.
Like the Fresno chapters, like one guy. Yeah.
I think they get because certain areas are so far apart that
Yeah.
they just get
Locked
taken
in with something else.
Yeah.
Locked in, yeah. And so then we do have what we call a LFO that reports to Lucas themselves.
Wow.
So, and everybody kind of
The guy like walks in like the messenger, like.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
nobody
Mr.
wants to
Lucas.
have that bad.
He unravels a scroll and reads
And
you
there's
off.
trumpeters.
Lord Lucas says.
Yeah, so
He's sitting on Boba Fett's chair.
there's somebody in charge of something.
Yeah.
I don't do the politics because it does
Right.
get very messy. I just like to troop.
Because you like a democracy.
But it does get to that point too because we are such a big organization that there has to be some kind of order and a chain of command, even though it's all
Just imperial thinking.
it's all our own free time.
Seriously.
Nobody gets paid to do
I bet
it.
you the rebels aren't like that. Hey
Nah,
guys, you want to
they-
go to this thing?
Oh man.
Yeah,
do,
bro.
do you guys
They're like an art collective.
Yeah.
Just nothing gets done.
do you guys get to have fun? Like, do you have like a softball league? Do you guys, I don't know, go out and do other non-Star Wars-esque stuff? Like,
Yeah, so like our
Do you have lives? is
Do you
what
go
he's
to?
asking.
we have
Do you
lives?
guys have a beach day? Are you all like wearing?
Yeah, just the
the
helmet.
Vader masks? Stormtroopers
So-
on the beach. I like
so
it.
because I live in Santa Clarita now, so I got a good amount of friends out there. We have our own group that does basically weekly dinners every
Oh,
Wednesday
okay.
or Thursday. We all get together, have dinner, drinks, talk about what events we're going to try to do together.
Yeah.
Because that's what ends up bringing us all together. Is that
Right.
we like to do events, but we like to do it together because everybody kind of knows
Well, you'd hope you'd all jive,
Yeah, we all
exactly.
jive. We all have a great time. But, with anything that gets a little too big, people kind of...
Yeah, attitudes and egos rub hard, yeah.
Yeah, so you want to keep it playful. You want to keep it fun because at the end of the day, that's all you're doing. You're donating your time to
If it's not fun, why do it? Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Sure. Do you guys ever have your own of the factions in L.A.? Do you guys have your own
click?
Well, no. Do you ever throw a convention where all the factions get from
Well,
Golden Gate
celebration is the big one.
Well, I mean, but not like an official one. It's just
of...
you guys. It's like your own thing.
Yeah, we try to set up booths like WonderCon.
I'm not even saying like booths. This is just like
It's just like drink night at
like your own.
You guys
con.
are your own.
Let's go
con.
get drinks at O'Houlihan's.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, so we do have our own groups, our Facebook groups, and so when we get notified, like, hey, Joe Schmo from Iowa, Star Wars group is coming into town to Disneyland. Do you want to meet up at Trader Sam's?
Okay.
And we do. Like everybody kind of gives a heads up or knows somebody because I bring up Celebration.
It's like a motorcycle club.
I bring up Celebration because that's the biggest one that brings everybody.
Everybody's
from all over the world.
I see.
Like
now, when it's held, like this year was held in Europe. Like, do you guys all get together to do like a viewing party and stuff like that, or is it just like you guys get together and be like, oh my God, can you believe they talked about this or what have you?
Some of us just get together to go.
Oh.
Wow.
So.
Well, la-di-da.
Yeah. I mean, this one, I wanted to go, but it was 10 months after the last celebration, which was last year.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was a quick turnaround.
And that was Anaheim, right?
Anaheim, was
Yeah.
it? You okay there? You falling asleep?
Sorry,
Am I putting you
no,
asleep?
you scared me with bringing it up last year, and it was a tragic time.
The trigger for him.
for Star Wars,
But
Yes.
but yeah, like last year in Anaheim, I mean, it was like all nighter because we were staying at the Hilton.
Uh-huh.
If you anybody that goes to Anaheim Convention Center and stays or goes to Disney,
It's good. It's one of the better convention centers.
yeah, Hilton is like the party central because we were
okay.
partying till 6 o'clock in the morning. And
Pillow
then-
fights. Nice.
Sure. But yeah, you get to meet a lot of people from all over the country. Like I met people from Europe, Germany, Poland,
Yeah, you did.
Scotland.
Yeah,
like,
you did.
And then it
You
becomes
went into that Sarlacc pit, you dirty son of a bitch.
then it becomes a drinking competition.
You did a Sarlacc pit?
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's
No comment.
no comment on that one because if my friends are listening, yeah.
What stays at
Just
convention?
here at our table. No one's listening.
What happens?
Right?
Again,
These mics aren't even on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just for us.
We're just talking to
pretend.
ourselves.
But yeah, so you get to meet those people and you share contacts and then
Yeah, you did.
they'll start. Yeah. We'll start
I can make
emailing
anything dirty. It's okay.
You pretty much can.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
now I'm feeling uncomfortable because now I'm like,
Hey,
The wine's kicking in, right?
Watson, we don't need to take you to HR.
Oh, okay. You're right. You're right.
And I'm HR, so that's like really
Oh,
stinks.
God.
We're all screwed.
Yeah, we're really in
Oh,
trouble now.
boy. Yeah, please don't look at my pictures then because some of them with my helmet on and nothing else.
Oh,
Hey.
As we don't have a sound.
Now,
board, so-
we're working on a soundboard. Now, if you wanted to go from like you're a type pilot right now, if you wanted to upgrade the armor or change to a different, like let's say I love the speeder bike armor. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Do you need to get approval to change because they're like we have a certain amount of type pilots that we need versus like anything else, like, or can you do multiple suits?
Oh yeah, you can do multiple suits.
So like Celebration, you could do one day as a TIE pilot, one day as something else.
Yeah, I was gonna do TIE pilot and then do Jedi because I am also a Jedi.
Oh, nice.
And those are called fulcrums because you're doing dual.
Nice.
But you can do as many outfits that you're approved.
Uh-huh.
And what's nice about Celebration is like usually we have these big group pictures, so you go with your actual official approved costume,
Right.
and then for the rest of the celebration you can
Do
whatever you want
Nice.
because nobody's really watching you.
Right.
But when it comes to an official event, yes, you have to be wearing an approvable costume.
Mm-hmm.
Since you said you are a Jedi, is there an actual council group, like a Jedi council group?
So you have Rebel Legion,
Yeah.
which is the other side of the 501st.
Mhm.
That's all Jedi, and same thing. You submit your pictures. They look at your robe, and they
Will
give
they
you a pointer.
say
You
we
will
do not
be-
accept? We do not accept.
You
you
know,
as
grant you the
master?
rank of master.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
I'm going to do a full
This is
Yaddle
absurd.
cosplay. So I'm going to be little Yaddle.
Hot Yaddle.
Hot Yaddle.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Very good.
We all knew that's Grogu's mom, right? That's
I mean,
it's got to be.
What's George
There's
say?
only two of them, and now there's a baby. now.
Amador,
Ew.
did George tell you who Grogu's dad is?
Yeah.
I would like a Diet Coke, please.
Bring me a Diet Coke. No.
So with the 501st, so how is there? How do you move up within the organization? Do you guys vote for it, or do you have to run for office, or
Yeah.
how does it? Yeah.
Yeah, so once a year, everybody, that got voted in either can rerun or step down and let new leadership take over. So
So you would run for, say, you're like a leadership position, and people have to vote on it. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, so we can't campaign, but we do have like a Q&A. Once you submit, you kind of give yourself a statement of, hey, this is me. This is the reason why I want to run for leadership. And then you do your first round of voting. If you make it to the second round, then they go and give you a Q&A. So we have a forum for that, and they do the whole answering. They read it up. You have another round of voting, and then you bring it down to at least maybe 3 candidates. And then they give their final statement. Everybody reads, and then you do the final vote, and then you go in.
Nice.
Can you ever fill up? Is there we reached our cap of members, or is it just
No, like I said, we're like 15,000 plus members right now worldwide. So it really depends on how much time you really want to put into it.
Do you guys pay dues?
No, we
Oh,
don't.
nice.
We don't pay dues because we're nonprofit. We volunteer our time, but when we do charity events, some people want to give us money, but we just tell them, hey, just donate to.
Now, I heard a rumor. I don't know if you can confirm this or not, but I heard Lucas reached out for troopers for season Mandalorian and stuff like that. They were like, we don't have enough people or enough extras or suits. Did you guys fill in for those things?
I actually had a couple of friends that were lucky enough to be in the season finale of the first Mando.
Oh, nice.
And it was about, I think, a call for 30 on top of the 20 that they had on their own.
And they
That's
brought their
rad.
own. They brought their own
They
costumes.
brought their own costumes.
But some of those costumes were all scruffed up and fucked up. Did they have to mess up their own
No,
costumes?
so those were the ones that they owned.
The screen, yeah.
The stunt doubles and all that.
Yeah.
But the 30 that went in, they went in with their,
Clean.
Legion approved costumes.
Nice.
So we did that. I have a friend that was lucky enough to also be in season 2 and 3 playing different characters.
Oh, nice.
oh
He's actually having a signing at a comic book shop. Not a comic book shop. Blast from the Past.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Burbank. Shout out to Blast of the Past.
Yeah,
Great
I think-
place.
Yeah, tomorrow for May the 4th, he's going to be there.
Oh, well, there you
That's
go.
cool. Shout out Adisher.
Mhm.
So he's been
He's
lucky
doing a
enough-
signing for doing what though?
He's doing a signing. There's a couple of people that have been in the shows or in the movies, and
Right
they all
on.
got together and doing a signing.
Oh,
at-
that's cool. Okay.
and
Nice.
you will be able to see troopers out there also.
awesome.
For May
will
the
you
4th.
be?
Yeah, where are you going to be for May the 4th?
No, unfortunately, I will be working. This is as much of the May the 4th I get to do this year.
Do you get to wear your uniform at least for May the 4th?
Yeah.
You're like, this is my
At work? Yeah.
No,
religious freedom. I can wear
but
this.
once I get out, we're having our own May the 4th party. So
Right on.
I
At
get
the
to
Scum
party.
and Villainy, or just some random?
Oh man, I wish Scum and Villainy. I
It's gonna
tried
be
to go
packed.
one year.
It's gonna be
That thing
packed.
you have to be there at 6 o'clock. in
Yeah.
the morning
Oh, yeah. It's
to,
gonna be.
to get
It's
it.
gonna be
That's the
ridiculous
place to
tomorrow.
be.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
their and then it's like Cinco de Mayo right after that. They're going to be making money.
Yeah.
Have any of the 501st? I forget when I went to John Williams. He holds a concert every
At the
September
Hollywood Bowl. Yeah.
at the Hollywood Bowl. Has the 501st come on stage there for any of the obviously Imperial March or anything? Have they been invited?
Yeah, how do you
Yeah,
guys do?
like-
How do you guys do bookings? Is it they reach out like the Weird Al thing? Do they?
So yeah,
do they reach out
so
to you guys?
we call those high profile events, and those really have to be approved by Lucas.
Oh,
and
I
Disney.
see.
And so because
John
those,
Williams like, I fucking created the Imperial March, you assholes.
Yeah.
What do you mean they need approval?
I mean that
I
man,
am the Empire.
right? But those events, yeah, they're limited to X amount of troopers,
Right.
or personalities that they can have. And so that becomes more of a lottery because everybody wants to do those kind of events.
Sure.
But for like the nonprofits, Children's Hospital, any event that we feel that is worthy to have us there, they'll usually submit. We'll look at it, and if we get enough interest for it, then we'll go ahead and open it up. And we have
that's
person of contact or a POC that takes over that event, so
Right.
they can coordinate
Nice.
and see what they want us to do.
How many events per year do you guys think you do?
Tomorrow alone, I think we're doing over 40.
In just tomorrow?
Just tomorrow.
Holy crap.
Wow.
So now that we're in full swing, I think we end up doing almost like approved ones. We do almost 500 or so.
That's insane.
But that's just
Per
us in
year?
LA.
Yeah.
Can anyone be kicked from the 501st if they don't do?
Will Chad be the first one to be kicked
Well,
out?
no. I'm in the context of like,
Don't-
they keep backing out of charity events.
Yeah,
like,
don't
I don't want to do this one. I don't want to do this one. Like,
Oh, you don't
Yeah,
participate?
is
Yeah,
there a
participation.
quota for how much you have to participate?
No, because it's all on your free time.
Yeah.
I mean, the minimum I think it's once a year. You at least have to do once a year to stay active. And then if you don't, because at the end of the year we do have a census, so you have to kind of let them know, hey, when was the last troop you did?
Right.
Of course, during the COVID years,
Right.
they kind of
limited a lot of that.
limited
sure,
all
yeah.
that, so they're like, I didn't troop because of COVID, and
Right.
that ended last year.
How many events did you personally have you done this year?
This year, so far, I've only done like about 5.
Okay.
Before the pandemic, since I was a TIE fighter, I did over 25, so I'm an ace
Wow.
pilot.
Oh,
wow,
so
watch out.
boom.
25 kills.
we got our own
25
Red Baron
firmed,
here.
yeah.
huh?
So I'm 15 away.
Killing that rebel scum.
Yeah, I'm 15 away of doing 50, just in
Okay.
my TIE pilot.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And then
Then-
Jedi.
Then you'll get that promotion you've been wanting.
Yeah, so like I didn't even know about that until somebody told me. It's like, hey, how many troops have you done? Well, I've done
Right.
so and so. Well, if you submit them in our Jolly Rogers, that's what the TIE pilots are.
That's great.
They'll promote you. I was like, oh, okay, sure.
Because what's the one that has the red stripe on it? That's for the newer ones.
That's
right?
the 181st TIE pilots.
Ah.
Yeah,
So are you a captain or are you?
I'm an ace
Ace?
pilot,
Well, I mean, like
but
in
Don't
rank.
take that away from him.
I'm not. No,
Yeah, is
I mean,
there a rank?
Is
Yeah.
there rank? Like, is it like? I mean, I don't know. What
like
the,
Captain Phasm.
well, no. You know how most pilots are
No.
captains, and then
No, it's just
You're just a pilot.
you're just
Lieutenant.
It just
Yeah.
depends on your troops, and
Okay.
like I said, I'm 15 away from 50, so I'll be a double ace pilot.
okay.
I know with the Jedi's, I think you go from apprentice to you can work your way all
Yeah.
the way to.
I always like that.
Padawan to.
Yeah,
I would want to wear that white like flight admiral, the uniform that like the
Thrawn?
The Thrawn ones,
uniform,
yeah.
or what's the one from Rogue One, Kernak?
Oh,
Krennic.
Krennic,
yeah. Like, I
yeah.
thought that was a pretty tight.
I would get that
looking
dirty
suit.
so quick. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
just- I would,
Oh,
I would
yeah.
just sit down and. I got pasta sauce
Yeah.
all over my
Yeah,
eyes.
I could see him. I could see him at the buffet table, like, oh
Yeah.
no, they got some buffalo wings
At WonderCon, just like, oh man.
Anybody have a
just
Tide
walked in
pen?
there.
Good thing I wore this bib.
Do you get in trouble if you show up like with dirt?
Pasta sauce,
Yeah.
very specific.
Well, come on, you want to be presentable.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, but if you're, you guys are on break, you're going to the snack table, and then you're like, oh man, and then
Well, that's why they have those little starch pens on there.
Oh yeah, for their armor. It's
or
just-
you try to suit down. Depending on what you're wearing. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes
Does the armor flip out like a tray, and then they can?
That's it. That's
There you
good.
go.
Yeah, like
put a hinge
that's-
on that thing.
is
that's
that
one of the
screen
buttons.
accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Vader has that one button that you
Yeah,
press, and it just opens up. And
A moist towelette.
for some reason, I feel like he drinks Fresca, you know,
Oh,
Hey,
with a little
it's
straw.
like a
that just
Capri
go-
Sun
Right.
pouch.
There you go.
But
makes
no, I mean, you know, with the events that we do, they're very kind and make sure that we're taken care of with at
Well
least
hydrated
water.
and
yeah.
all that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Does the rebellion need a Jar Jar? Because I'm willing to
Oh.
offer my services.
Does the
as a-
Sith need a Jar Jar?
Oh,
Because I mean, the Darth Jar Jar stuff has been going around the internet for a while. So
Yes.
I've been doing it for about 5 years now. I don't.
You've been doing Jar Jar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
dirty boy, you dirty boy. You know you did.
No, but I don't think I've seen,
love you long
I've seen a Jar Jar in any of our events. I know I saw some in Celebration.
Now is it like someone's head down here and the head's up here, like of Jar Jar up above their?
Like, do the full Ahmed Best like mocap.
Yeah,
scene.
yeah.
No, the ones that I saw were like full on. Like
Really?
I was like, how are you breathing
Oh,
in
man.
that thing, man?
Yeah. That's wow.
But I haven't seen an
That's
approvable
commitment.
one yet.
It
so
is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Wow. So how is so for the organization itself? So is there any charity, or does it have to be specifically a charity, or is it going to just be any kind of event that you guys can go out to? I mean, obviously, I know you prefer charities, but does it have to be a charity, or like if you go to an
No.
event, do you like? Do they just ask for like a donation to the organization, or like a charity that you work with? How does that work?
No, we like to do a lot of like science events with kids and
That's
stuff
cool.
like that.
Yeah. Right.
School charities, not school charities, but you know, anything that involves children. I know they did like the block party in Chatsworth.
Mm.
We did
Oh,
those
yeah.
events too
Oh,
because
nice.
it's
LA
community
Ghostbusters
event.
were just there
Yeah,
too.
Yeah,
yeah.
so
That's right, yeah.
same thing. We like to do a lot of community events also. We do a lot of it with LAPD, sheriffs.
Okay.
You know, when they have their toy drive with the Marines,
Yeah.
we'll do that. We'll do
Oh,
those
right. Yeah, Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots.
Yeah, that's
so
right, yeah.
so we'll go out there and troop that.
Right on.
We have one coming up for the Miracle Network. So we do those at the Costco's. And those are like every weekend starting, I believe, next month.
Oh.
So, you know, as long as you submit and it looks like it's something that we can do, we'll do it.
Well, Stan, you should try and get them for your.
I was thinking about that. How am I going to get for the charity that I'm part of for the Hollywood
Yeah.
Food Coalition? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll show you the link after,
Cool.
and you can submit, and you know,
Yeah,
I'll
just
pull
think about-
some strings. And
Trying to think of how we can. Yeah, we
Vader
can work
can
that
threaten
in.
some people to get food.
Yeah, we do have a concert coming up for our
There you
trying
go.
to raise money.
Oh,
so
there
that's
you go.
interesting. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. There was some. Oh yeah. So what? Personally, what do you think of some of the Star Wars stuff that's recently come out? Like we were talking about.
We were talking about Celebration.
Yeah, we were talking about.
Yeah.
But we were talking
And-
about Andor as well. Like, what do you think
Mhm.
about some of the stuff that's recently come out?
And
Like,
what are you excited
I
for coming
personally love Andor. I think it's one.
out? I mean,
If it's not, if
I think he's kind of universally loved
Yeah.
at
If
this
it's-
point.
if
I haven't
it's
heard a lot
not-
of people going boo Andor.
if it's not one of the, well, I heard a lot of fans say it's boring. There's no fucking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where are the lightsabers?
No
Like,
pew pews. Yeah.
yeah. I think it's one of the best Star Wars shows to certainly put out recently. But I think it's not. But only that, I think it's one of the best TV shows ever made. What do you think about it? And some of the others.
Now you get to shit on it for
Yeah.
in front of Stan
Yeah,
for
the
a few
first one.
minutes.
Yeah.
No, actually, I mean, it gives you a glimpse of how the Empire works because,
Yeah.
you know, we
Right.
see the front of, okay, you know, you have Vader, you have Palpatine, and then you
Yeah.
have the Death Star.
Yeah.
You do see a lot of the
How
rise
the
and
heck
fall.
do you build the Death Star?
Yeah.
Right.
And this is what they get involved. They're like, all right, we're taxing here, we're taxing there, which
Yep.
is not interesting to a lot of people.
Slave
Like,
labor through prisoners, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, the inner workings of how the Empire gets that power,
Yeah.
and especially in Andor, is the most interesting part. And Andor realizing, okay, well, you know, I was just in it for myself, but
Yeah.
now that I see people are willing to
It's-
lose their life, and especially, you know, his mother, she
so
was
good.
like, no,
God,
you can go. Go and do what you have to do, but I'm going to stay here and fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's
We-
what kind of
we were
gets 'em
talking
going.
of like
Yeah.
it's as close to like The Wire as Star Wars will ever get, you know, like it just talking about like like how how that's all made, how the empire really works.
Right.
You know, because when you just say Galactic Empire, you go, all right, what does that mean? Like how they patrol all these planets, how they stay in control, and it's through fear and manipulation and taxation, and you know.
I've said this before. I think we finally get the Empire being a dangerous threat again, which I don't feel we got for a long time. For a long time, they were just kind of bumbling clown, especially the latest trilogy. The First Order is not really a threat. Not really. I mean, as far as their officers, it's just kind of like there's maybe one that's kind of has some intelligence. The rest of them are bumbling clowns and fools. But in Andor, we got the Empire being scary again, once again, and like
blasters
you can feel
are a little more accurate.
Yeah, and you can feel the tension in every single, especially on the Rebel side. You can feel the tension and see it in their face. And I've said this before. You feel when you're watching that show that the characters themselves feel as if someone's going to burst through the door at any minute and arrest them.
Well, and that's the one thing I do love about that show too. There is no magic, right? So it's there's no one that could just wave off a blaster bolt. Everyone on that show is just boots on the ground.
They're all mortal.
They're all mortal.
Yeah, they feel mortal.
Scared for their lives.
Yeah,
you know, they're all trying to just race away from this, you know, giant monolithic, you know, empire.
Right,
So.
and it was also great how we had a build up to the empires, the rebellion as well.
Yeah,
right. So we had these group of characters they're just regular people trying to get through life, tolerating the empire, saying, well, they're here, but whatever, as long as they stay out of our way. Okay, maybe they tax us a little bit, maybe they push us around, but I don't want to get involved. And then towards the end of the show, you finally have a full-fledged rebellion,
right?
Where they're actually putting like hands on Imperial soldiers.
Just the political intrigue with Mon Mothma.
That's what I mean.
Was so good, and she does such a great
job.
Actress whoever that actress is.
Well, that's what I was saying. That actress,
she kills
every single time
hard.
You see her on screen. It feels like her tension and her anxiety.
She knows she can get
at any time. She can get arrested
any minute. Yeah,
exactly.
So, do you think she's going to give her daughter away for marriage?
I think so. I think
that hurts.
I think she will.
That alone, when she got threatened, and she's like, well, you know, anything for
the greater good.
For the greater good, but then you put your family in it. It's like she could care less about the husband, but now you're putting somebody that's
and she might, you know, it might be the safer option for the kid to go away with the, you know, than be in Coruscant.
Yeah. Well, also,
I care about these people.
I mean that opens.
I even care about the droid, man.
That opens the
droid.
Those types of decisions opens the path for the extremist rebellion with Forrest Whitaker's Saul
Guerrero.
I think that has another storyline to follow. Like
when I love they showed that like there's all these factions, but none of them are, you know, they're not unified yet.
Yeah.
And you kind of see that in the new like latest season of Mandalorian, the other side of that, where it's like, the New Republic they're in control now, but they really have no control. You know, because they say like they have no control of the Outer Rim, they have no control of the systems really, because it's like the artists took over and they're like bah, 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 we're all loving.
Yeah. Well, I think, but what they're doing in the Mandalorian, the Republic is kind of copying what the Empire did by promising security for certain planets.
Right.
Yeah,
you know, that they justify as worthy.
But they're way over their head. They're just like, I don't know how they.
Well, and I like how characters are saying, well, when the Empire was around, we did have security.
Yeah,
which really mimic. It's funny because when I was in Iraq. In the second wave in 2004, after Saddam had been overthrown.
No,
and so I heard from a lot of Iraqis. I would ask that. I would say, well, you know, just out of my curiosity, because also what was going on in the country at the time, which is complete chaos. We only controlled certain cities. We only controlled certain sections of the road. The rest were in the hands of who we called insurgents, right? Mm-hmm. So I would ask the Iraqis, like, what do you think? And like, I mean, it's great that Saddam's gone. We all hated him, but we had electricity in our homes. We had running water.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have to worry about getting shot on the street. We didn't have to worry about getting ripped off. So thanks, but at the same time, what the fuck, you know? So it was like that. So it hit kind of hard when I heard.
Right. It was the same when the Soviet Union collapsed. You know, everyone was like, we hated the Soviet Union, but you know, man, trains ran on time. You know, and
exactly.
Whoa.
And
But that's the thing with Andor. It's like the people that don't complain. It's usually the aristocrats, the people that are
Right.
well off.
Yeah.
And like they're
Right.
like, hey, I'm still making money. I'm okay.
Right.
They're
Just
not
like
touching me.
Just like the best part of Last Jedi, you know, the aristocrats in the casino, right? Everybody loved that part.
Everyone
yeah,
loves the
that's,
casino
uh,
scene.
That is
best
the-
part of
that-
Star
the
Wars.
True prophets of war.
That was the linchpin of that whole series. It was that casino. I'm just saying.
It
It's
would have
true.
played better if it was, because the original plan was it for it to be Billy D. Williams.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Lando. Lando was supposed to be
Yeah.
Lando
the
was supposed to be running it.
yeah, which would have been great.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you give a little fan service, everything
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
forgiven.
forgiven.
And then
Yeah.
his turn
Exactly.
at the end would have been really hurtful, but
Oh yeah.
'cause it was supposed to be the Benicio del Toro character
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
as Lando.
Yeah, that's.
But we got Lando in the third movie.
Hey,
that made up
and
for
he
it. That
made
made up
out-
for everything.
He tried to make out with his
Don't worry.
baby daughter.
Yeah.
What
found-
planet you say you're from?
I've recruited all these stormtroopers. Yeah.
Have
I
some
don't
Colt 45.
I wanted to ask you about the.
He
What's
did
wrong?
commercials for Colt 45.
He did. But I wanted to ask you about the Dark Trooper armor. Is there a height requirement for that? Because they're all super tall.
Big
They're
dudes.
like 6'3".
I mean,
Oh,
Well, aren't those robots?
No, they're.
no, he's talking about
they're-
like the Death Troopers or the ones from
Oh,
Rogue
excuse me,
One?
Death Troopers. Yeah, I
Oh,
say
yeah.
Dark Troopers. Yeah,
Those
Yeah.
guys are jacked.
Yeah.
Big dudes.
there isn't a height requirement, but for the majority, usually the people that do it are the around
tall
the
guys.
6'2",
Yeah.
6'3" guys.
Trooper babies. Just saying, put it out there.
I haven't seen any. I
No
mean,
troopers.
pretty much everybody that I've seen do Death Trooper is at least 6'2".
Mm.
So
Oh,
Yeah.
same with
That's a good look too. 'cause
So
they
would
got,
they
like, the
let
green
would they let a
lenses.
5'8" Death Trooper?
why not?
It's like
We don't discriminate.
We don't-
Okay,
we don't-
Chad. I know you're trying to get me with your gotcha journalism, but we don't discriminate here, sir.
Okay, all right.
We're all inclusive.
Did they have the
okay?
voice modulators and make them sound like?
Oh yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
can win.
People go all out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with our Vaders. Like some of them actually do have on their fingertips. They have the sayings ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's-
awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's how they
nice.
do it
Yeah.
at Disneyland too.
Right.
is They got the
Because they took
recordings.
that from us.
Oh, they did.
They did.
Oh, wow.
Probably.
Oh.
I don't
Really?
know.
Oh, interesting.
Everybody
Gotcha,
steals from
Disney.
everybody.
Gotcha again. Ooh, you're getting so got.
No, Mr. Mouse.
No, Amador is
You-
on.
you own all of us.
Yes.
You own all of us, please.
They're like, really? Who came up with it? Mm.
oh boy.
Have you ever been to Lucas's? Is it called a farm? I forget. What
Ranch.
is- Ranch.
Luke's
yes.
Skywalker Ranch. see?
Skywalker
Ranch.
Ranch. I do drink their wine.
Hacienda.
Uh,
Oh,
but
they do have a wine.
They
there.
do,
They
yeah.
I gotta try
If
that
you
one.
go to-
Is it
It's
good?
pretty good.
It's really good.
Really?
And then they carry it at Scumvillany. They're like
Mhm.
the only
Oh,
ones
really?
that carry it.
Like,
See,
Oh,
that's why I
interesting.
gotta go. I gotta.
Yep. Now we got to go.
But
Does it smell better on the inside of the bottle?
Ah.
it all drinks the same, man. Come
Exactly.
on. You know. Come on, Chad.
Well, no, I thought it smelled bad on the inside or the outside. Sorry, my bad. See, I'm a terrible.
Come on, dude.
May the 4th be with me.
I apologize.
Sorry,
It's all right.
I'll take my lashings in the corner.
I mean, no, it's really good. You do get invites. They do have events. So I unfortunately haven't been able to go when I had the chance, but other friends have, and it's an experience. It's really
Alright.
cool to go. It's an honor. So, but at least I drink their wine, so
Nice.
Do
I
you
feel
guys
I
ha-
get a little bit of the taste.
Do you guys make your own official the hat you're wearing right now?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys make your own
Merch.
merch?
Like 501st
or,
merch.
Yeah, we do.
shirts and
Within the
hats?
members, yeah, we do have merch for our members. Everything,
Members
of
only.
course, has to be approved. Like the sweater that I'm wearing,
Oh, okay.
that's LA Squad right there.
Oh,
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very
We'll
nice.
take some pictures, put them on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one actually had to change the logo because the mouse said that we can't have actual references to the city,
Oh.
so we had to redesign the logo.
Really?
Because if you look at it, it has like the Santa Monica Pier, the Hollywood sign.
Oh, okay.
So we had to change it up a little bit. But
Did they give you a reason why you couldn't make references to the city?
well, because
That's a very strange
well,
request.
because Star Wars, you're not really in reality.
I see.
You're in a
It's a galaxy
Far,
far,
far
far
away.
away.
I see.
so a
You
lot
can't-
of a
can't
lot of
show
that stuff
Vermont
had to change.
Street, yeah.
Right.
I'm not rolling my eyes right now.
You
No,
better
no.
step in line, or I'm gonna make you step in line.
Who?
Ha 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 ha.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's called Dagobah, not Doheny. So
But
it's
yeah,
a local reference.
But yeah, so we do everything that we have merch wise, of course, has to be approved by Lucas. So we are now slotted 3 runs per year.
Uh-huh.
So we kind of have to decide. So usually we have like a challenge coin, and you know what a challenge coin is. Those are really cool because we usually like to trade them with other garrisons or groups.
That's awesome.
Or when
Do
somebody,
you always carry one on you? Or?
Yeah, I actually have one in my wallet.
You gotta slam it on.
I know. I want to see this thing. Whip it out.
Gotta slam it on the
I
table.
had thought
Get out
I
the
gave
gimp
you
suit.
guys
Challenge
one
me.
when we first started out at the group.
Mm.
Did I?
I don't know.
No,
I
I,
never
gave
got
you
one.
patches. That's when we did the
Oh, I never
robes.
got that.
Oh, right.
So yeah, there was a time when we actually decided to be very fancy, and we all
We
got
all got
robes.
robes.
Oh, I never told the
The
story
bros.
how I found out through Amador about
Oh,
the.
yeah, we
yeah,
did.
we
Oh, my
never
gosh.
got
We
to.
started
We
it.
got
Sorry. We got a
Rewind.
tangent.
Yeah. And so I was listening to Kevin Smith podcast, and Amador, there's a Q&A section, and Amador stood up and said, "Hey, I'm actually part of this group called the Reading Rainbows." And Kevin Smith's like, "Oh my God, that's so cute!" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun." And I just happened to just Google it, and then I found out that through Facebook,
Yeah.
what time. And actually, I called the night you guys were having your meeting, and I spoke to Adam,
Uh-huh.
who was the employee
Yeah.
for a long time, and he was like, "Yeah, we're actually doing it right now." He's like, "You don't have to come, but yeah, we meet every." And so I was like, "Fuck it, I'll go right now." So I just showed up, and you guys were reading Swamp Thing.
Oh,
So,
Oh,
yeah.
nice, yeah.
Yeah, and that was my first meeting. But anyhow, sorry,
And
you
then
were
you
talking-
stuck with us.
Yeah, and I got stuck with you
years
guys.
later.
Biggest mistake of my life.
Yeah. We hang on like barnacles over here.
Seriously.
And start podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you handed out patches for
Yeah,
the
so
probes. The
The
probes.
probes.
The probes.
That I don't think we ever got them really attached on.
No, we did
never
not.
did.
It was
Mine
a
is
big,
my living room,
big
my
dream,
bedroom,
yeah,
yeah.
of just like having
I
all
think
these.
Adam kept mine. I was like, I never got mine back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
sorry.
think
Yeah.
so. I think so. I mean, we might have actually given it away to somebody, didn't we? That
I don't
right
know if
before
they
the store
took it.
shut
I don't
the
know if they kept
store
it.
shut
but
down.
know.
They wore it for one.
Oh,
If
to
anyone's got
Justin,
Amador's robe, please
Yeah.
contact us
Yeah.
at www.
So for those of you who think we're crazy over here, we got bathrobes at one point. For some reason,
They
'cause
were
it was
cozy.
during the winter,
Yeah.
and we said, "Oh yeah, we should get some bathrobes." So we
Oh,
ordered
yeah.
some like $15 bathrobes from
Yeah.
Amazon.
No, because it was the what was
Christmas party or
No,
No, it was some kind of Christmas.
bitches?
something.
oh yeah, they had a female group called the Perky Bitches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not what
Yeah.
we're not calling
Yeah,
them.
we're-
That's
right.
what they
Let's
call
clarify
themselves.
that.
Official
They
name.
call
I think
themselves the
they're
Perky
still out
Bitches.
there.
We're all
Yeah.
inclusive again.
Yes.
Anyways.
And we were doing like a mixer. We were doing the Bros and the
Oh,
Bitches
right.
Christmas mixer, I believe. And of course, I think we talked about ugly sweaters or something like that. Like, and then it was just like, let's just get some robes. It'd be great.
Let's be fancy.
Yeah, we're
be
gonna
fancy,
fancy it
yeah.
up. And so we did look like a weird cult for a
Yes,
little bit,
yeah.
because all of us showed up.
It was the exact same.
and the girls
bathrobe.
all had no idea what was going on because they were like, we don't do anything like this. We just drink wine and
Yeah.
chill
Well, we're
out.
fancier because
Yeah.
we have robes.
Yes.
We have
And then
to.
we
had to
wanted to do
show 'em up.
iron-on patches at
Yes.
some point. but
Yeah, we
never
had
got
like
done.
rainbow,
rainbows. Yeah.
Yeah, we were gonna self-decorate all our
Yeah,
our
yeah.
robes.
I got a bunch of. I was really in on getting a patch for every book we read.
Oh yeah.
So
nice.
I had like we read like the Pink Snaggletooth book, so I got
Mhm.
that, and I got a bunch of patches for each book, and then
I'm trying
realized
to
how many books we're reading. I was like,
remember.
oh crap.
Tons. Yeah.
The book about trees. That's the one that.
Oh, yeah.
I've
So-
heard your explanation on this.
This is
before my
classic
time.
Amador.
This before my. Do you
where-
remember your explanation? Because this is before my time.
we
but
read-
I've heard the legend of Amador's.
So a little
Well,
context.
yeah.
We read.
Yes.
It's a book, graphic novel named Trees. It's a science fiction graphic novel, and we were all read. We all read it, and then we get together and have a discussion on it. And Amador had the most amazing takeaway from the book that all of us were baffled by. Now, do you remember your takeaway?
Oh man. God, I think I was just zoned in on that one because, like, I can remember
the book was a lot of vignettes of different people living in this world where these like alien trees are growing out. You know, it was like these giant, 100-foot spires, basically, that were named trees, but they were alien buildings. And there was one particular character that you really zoned in on. That you were like, this is what the story's about. And we were like, you're nuts, but we love you. Do you remember?
Oh, man. I'm trying to like go deep in my thoughts.
I don't recall it verbatim. It was always Dan who was able to retell
the story
because he's got a steel trap up there.
Yeah.
But no, it was like after that explanation, every meeting after we would have Amador start the meeting, be like, okay, what did you think?
Yeah,
So
it was like, what's
was that
Amador's
what you guys
take?
were doing?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
I do remember we were talking about starting a bar with cats.
Oh,
And they with the cat.
oh
cat
yeah,
clothes.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a little TVMA.
Yeah, if it was not me, Chad would go off. On
Yeah,
a little
you
bit of
two
a tangent.
definitely.
Yeah. Well, I would go off the rails.
The insanity definitely. It was like a feedback loop of insanity between the two of you because
Yes,
you
it
were
was.
just like.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't like you guys were like one-upping each other, but it was pretty amazing.
And then
to watch.
Dan would just corral that and just be like, "Okay, guys,
Yeah.
But
I have pizza."
But ever since you stopped coming, then it was Dan embraced the insanity, and it was me and him going back and forth
Yeah.
of crazy.
You broke him.
As you
Yeah.
all have heard on this podcast.
Yes,
Yeah.
as we've
I actually when the bookstore closed, Dan hit me up and he's like, I still have your Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh,
Oh,
what?
yeah.
He still has that?
yeah,
Yeah.
he told me
Oh, wow.
about
Because
that.
we all got together and we signed
Yeah.
it. Because for a while that became the prop to have.
Yeah.
And I left it
Right.
at the store because I'm like, well,
Oh.
if we get a new member,
I think I
have it
just
signed.
had a.
I don't
Facebook.
think I signed it. So
Well, so I actually, when Dan asked me about it, I thought about it. I was like, you know what, dude, you ran the group for such a long time. It's yours, man. Just you keep it.
That's very
I think he
sweet.
told me he cleaned off
I
all the
want to rob
names.
him.
Right?
And you were like,
Cleaned it off, put it on eBay. He's like, look, one of a kind. Here it is.
If he didn't,
$150, please.
if he
Yeah.
did, I'm going to rob him. So.
That kid's got enough stuff.
He's got enough stuff.
Let's
He's
be
got
honest.
stuff. He's got enough
Oh, we
stuff.
had a great time when we saw Infinity War.
Yeah,
with
we all
at
met
El
up because that
Capitan.
was like one of the first like outside the store meetings we did. We're like, oh, we actually all enjoy just hanging out with each other and talking geeky stuff. And we started going to like movie openings together.
Is this where you guys got all drunk and went to go see it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you went to a coffee shop after and did
Oh no,
a
that was
podcast?
Justice League. That was because we just wanted to like shit on Justice League for like 2 hours after the movie. It was basically what we're doing now.
Right.
But we did mic it because I think we did all on like Kenny's podcast, right?
No. You might have.
No.
I listened to that, and you guys did it in a Starbucks.
Yeah.
And there's so much background
Oh my
noise. It's
God.
almost impossible.
They
to
were
hear
so
what they were
mad at us
saying.
too because it was late. Like they were closing.
Really?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
because we
shit.
came out of the movie at like 9:00. They're like, we're closing in like an hour, guys, and we were just like, blah blah blah, Justice League, blah blah blah.
Don't worry, it's going to be a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll be done.
Oh
we'll
my
be done
God.
shortly.
Yeah. We just thought it was gonna be a quick wrap up thing, and we literally everyone just shit on it for like an hour and a half.
The
straight.
baristas back there like, fucking nerds.
Yeah,
man."
exactly. So they got nothing better to do. No, clearly not. We're doing it now.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
But I did just see like a Facebook memory of like all of us outside El Capitan with the Infinity Gauntlet and stuff. And I was like, oh man, that was fun. Like it was a good night.
Yeah, because everybody in line was, oh crap, you have one? Could we wear like?
everyone
really?
wanted it. Oh,
That's
yeah.
great.
And we did the middle finger.
Yeah, sure.
Of course.
Everyone, it didn't matter who. Yeah, everyone who put it on the first time, it was either the middle finger or the shocker. Like those were the two go-tos.
Because they're like, how handy is that?
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
play with
It's
it.
like it didn't matter. Like no one was like, "Oh, no, I'm making a fest. I'm doing."
It
go straight for the
amazes
shocker.
me. It amazes me Disney didn't put out one that actually had the fingers already ready to snap. Like
That's the
It
one
was
thing you
sure.
can't really do with it. It's
no,
not-
yeah,
yeah,
you
can't
can't even
snap.
snap.
Ironically.
but, yeah. So, but it did have all the sound effects of each.
Yeah, no,
of all the
yeah.
stones and stuff, which was pretty awesome. So
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that Dan still had that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
I don't even remember you
keeping
getting it.
quiet about that.
yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He's
been
got
keeping
probably a
quiet
lot
about
of
that.
stuff we all left behind.
He has all the robes.
Yeah.
What a dick.
He made a blanket out of
Yeah.
it. He's like, I sleep with
He just
all
sne- he
the
just sniffs
bros.
them.
Yeah.
Sniffs them.
No, I-
unwashed masses.
I still have my robe. I use it when I get in the shower and get out of the shower. It's very
Oh,
nice.
thank God. I thought you were going to say when you masturbate. And I was just like, oh,
It's got to
boy.
be so disgusting.
Well, he does that in the shower. So.
Well, I mean, I don't wash it, so it's just
Oh.
gook.
It's just
You know,
growing stuff on.
Yeah, it's just I got
It's become
the
sentient.
It's a chia pet at this point.
the cordyceps is growing out of it.
Oh, nice.
It's already it can move on its own.
It's
You know.
It's starting
It's
to
got
grow.
a hive mind.
Yeah.
It's growing little trees that are intertwining.
Yeah.
As two lovers do.
Um,
on a summer
I
night.
pretend it's Fiora della Guardia, and I talk to him, at night.
No, it makes sense.
I said the name wrong, so that Ghostbusters joke went out the window.
Good job.
I was like, sick.
Good job. I was like, who is that?
Yeah. Well, no, in Ghostbusters 2, the mayor goes, I've been talking to Fiora, I forget the name, for 4 hours last night, and he's been dead for 40 years. And that's a joke, but, I fucked it up.
Do you have to explain a joke?
Yeah, because it's funnier after I
why-
fuck it up.
yeah.
That's why I explain it now. So it's explained. Everyone's laughing.
So this is going to be cut, though, right? 'Cause
Absolutely
Yeah, yeah.
not.
do not want to be associated with us.
I hope you know we don't edit anything
No.
out.
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah, nothing
We're
at
very lazy with our edits.
Yeah.
all. Oh, wow.
So anyone listening and complaining, okay, go, show
That would be www.shoveitup-your-ass.com.
That's a small taste of what Chad would do in the group.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's what he brings.
Yeah, I'm on this podcast. I'm pretty much censored. I'm censoring myself most of the time.
Yeah.
So-
that's
Wow.
right.
you could tell-
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
This is church chat.
Yeah, amen.
So other than Star Wars, is there anything else that you like? Anything recently you've been geeking over, or anything like that you want to
New
talk
Indiana
about? Bring up?
Jones.
I'm actually, after Crystal Skull, my expectations were very low for
Right,
the next
right.
indie. But
I mean,
after
after
seeing
Crystal
the
Skull, ooh.
yeah,
Everyone's was at
what was
the
that?
basement
Was-
level.
Was that a movie? I don't know.
It was something.
Well, I recently I heard Steven Spielberg is like, I thought I was the only one who
was he
saw,
hurt that
No,
they made
he,
a
no,
new
he was he saw the new film
Uh-huh.
and he said, I thought I was the only one who was able to make one of these, like make a good
Right.
one. So.
Right.
I don't know. I mean,
that's a real sideways compliment.
I know that's
there.
that's,
It's like,
that's
hey, I'm really good,
you know.
and this kid did all right.
Either
Yeah.
that or a dig on George and be like, I could have made something better, and you told me.
I don't
to
think
do
he's
this.
gonna shit on it intentionally.
I mean,
you know.
well, that's true, I guess. But I mean, imagine if Steven Spielberg was like, because he complimented Tom Cruise, it's like, you saved Hollywood. You should do the last Indiana Jones by directing it, and then he and Harrison Ford link up in the last one. That'd be crazy.
It'll be Mission Impossible meets Indiana Jones.
And then Tom Cruise could be the bad guy in Indiana Jones.
I wouldn't mind seeing. Tom Cruise is really good as a bad guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Collateral.
And Collateral is amazing.
He's
Collateral's
so
so
good.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why aren't you
I
doing
want
more
him
of
to do
that?
more villains. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was when he was really taking chances with his career.
well.
at that
Now I
point.
think since Mission Impossible is almost at an end,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it seems like this two-part is going to be the end of it, possibly.
End of his run.
Yeah, and
or he'll kill himself doing stunts.
I mean,
for
well,
it.
there's that too. But then if because he actually looks a little bit older now after the pandemic, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'd say he could go the route of playing villains now if he wanted to.
Yeah.
He doesn't have
No,
to.
I want him to go back and do Rex Grossman.
Oh well, yeah. No, if he could do that,
Oh,
as Rex
from,
Grossman.
uh,
Les
Rex
Grossman.
Grossman.
Les
Grossman.
Grossman.
Yeah.
From,
Give me a Les
Tropic
Grossman
Thunder.
movie.
Because he still talks about
Yeah.
it.
He
loved
he
that role.
loved doing it.
Yeah.
So
He
I
and-
think they had something in the books ready
Yeah.
to go, and
Well, he and Ben Stiller probably could team up and do another one of that. So we'll see. But is there other than Indiana Jones? Is there anything you're trying like? There's all. I mean, obviously, there's the Star Wars movies coming out. and
well,
stuff
Guardians
like
of the Galaxy
The
3
Guardians of the
comes
Galaxy.
out at the end of
kind
the
of a
week.
modern day Star Wars.
I mean,
their
yeah.
own.
I mean, James
Or
Gunn.
Star Trek. You could kind of because it's an ensemble.
Picard was great.
Mhm.
Picard?
Loved Picard.
Oh my God, Picard
Picard
was so
season
good.
3 was
Yeah.
So good. Season
Yeah.
3 was so good.
I think it redeemed.
1 and 2. Season 1 and 2.
You can't really say anything about 1 because it was one. It was season 1. They didn't know where they were going to go with it, but you still enjoyed the ride.
Yeah.
Season 2, yeah.
They continue that into season 2, not knowing where they're going to go.
But yeah, 3 was great.
2 was a
3
pandemic
was
show.
so
They
good.
were really like we're gonna do it in LA in 2000. What was it? Set in 2024 or something like that.
Yeah.
In Santa Clarita, they shot most of that.
Yeah.
In Santa Clarita. So I'm like, yeah, I've been there.
But 3 was very much
So
just
good.
like
My God.
and great work.
I mean, seeing the
and you can
Enterprise
watch
D
that
again.
season. It's very much standalone.
No,
Like,
I
they throw out a lot of the shit
I didn't
from the
watch
first 2 seasons.
I didn't watch season 2 at all.
Right.
I watched half of season 1. I was like, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And then I didn't watch season 2 at all. And I watched this. And aside from Rafi, who would just be like, oh, well, it's a cast member, whatever.
Right.
And 7 and 9, which is like, well, okay, you could just say
You already know.
you already know who she is. And she was in Starfleet. Okay, great.
Right.
She joined Starfleet after Voyager. Great. And that's it. And
Yeah.
that's all you just kind of, those are the only
And
two backstories. That's
There's a
about
lot
it.
of fan
And-
service in season 3.
there's
but
a
they
couple
do it
mentions-
so well.
Yeah, there's a couple mentions of Picard dying and being in a cybernetic, but if you just ignore
Yeah.
that, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Has there been any recent movies you just seen that you really loved, like
Ooh, I got
Mario
one.
movie, Evil Dead, Sisu?
Sisu.
Yeah.
So after I did a double feature on Sunday, so I saw Return of the Jedi, and I was like, "Oh, I've heard Sisu is like the John Wick of World War II,"
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and went to see that. And for an hour and 30, like, I was just like, "Okay, I need more of this."
Nice.
I mean, John Wick 3, of course, was freaking awesome.
You mean 4?
or 4,
Yeah.
or all of them?
Well, no,
They're all one movie.
They're
pretty much. I mean,
Apparently, they all take place
In like
in a week and a half.
Yeah.
well, no, there
Yeah.
was a small jump in 3 to 4. Though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got
He has to heal.
recoup.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
healing up from falling off a roof. You know?
But
Like you
no,
do.
Sisu was just like, okay, that we need more of those kind of movies, like
Yes.
just original movies.
Yeah.
Like I
Oh,
know they're
original.
going into a lot of the reboots,
Yeah.
and it's great. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I know a lot of people are shedding on the Mario movie, but I mean, it's a children's movie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as somebody that played the video games, you're there just for all the Easter eggs,
Yeah.
and to have a good time.
Yeah, I watched based on a lot of these guys' opinion. Actually, I watched Tetris.
Oh, yeah.
that was.
I just
another-
recently watched that
so
too.
good. Speaking of video games,
Yeah.
but just like I never thought, I was like, what is this Tetris movie? All right, whatever, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I got it was so fascinating, so well done, and it was like almost like a spy movie.
Yeah.
It literally was a spy movie.
Yeah, it's
And
exactly what it was.
I deep dived into those guys because I was like, what? This was all true story, and like going into it, just like amazing movie, and like really under the radar, and like Taron Egerton, the
Oh,
director,
Yeah.
so good in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely it's I kind of want to see a documentary of like
Right.
the guys themselves.
Right.
Like what was real and what wasn't. I mean, obviously most of that was a lot of it was
It was
Was-
punched up
yeah, it
for
was-
Hollywood.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
but I really want to see just a documentary of them just talking about,
Oh,
oh
yes.
yeah, this is what happened.
It's
And,
so well done, though. Highly recommend that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
Just saw Ghosted. I don't know if you saw Ghosted.
No, I haven't.
That's a
seen
real
that.
movie and not just an SNL trailer.
Look, I love Ana de Armas.
Who
She
doesn't?
is- I can't wait for her because she's doing Ballerina,
Yeah,
which is the
Ballerina's-
spin-off of John Wick.
Yep.
And
right.
she, in this one, might not be a great story, but she shows that she can do action.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So,
Okay, good, very
so
good.
I'm actually excited. And well, Chris Evans always shown that he does action. And
Yeah.
This
And
one, he's
it's
playing the bumbling
Right.
comic relief.
Yeah.
And he does
For
comedy
once.
well.
Yeah.
I loved him in the Gray Man movie.
Oh yeah, he was
so
great as
good
a
in
villain.
that. Yeah, yet again, pulling off
Knives
really good.
Out, he was great as the
Knives
villain
Out,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I think he wants to kind of,
He's
change.
stepping away from the hero roles. Yeah, and
No,
but he recently talked that he would come back as Cap. So, we'll
I think he
see.
just needs some time away. I mean, those Marvel movies, they got to be exhausting because you're doing, what, they're at 20 how many movies they've got now?
25, I think. Yeah.
25
If you're
in,
not including the series.
in a decade.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a lot of time being Cap. And, like,
And
I'm
you're shooting
sure-
in front of green screen mostly. Just,
yeah, I'm
you
sure
know,
there's
it's
like, I just need to
yeah.
step away and do something different and act
Yeah.
differently. And
You leave the set and everything just looks green. You're
Well,
like,
so
what the-
and then Ian McKellen talked about that for Lord of the Rings, how he broke down at one point because he was just in front of a green screen the entire
Yeah.
time, and he was like around nobody else, and he just got so upset that he just like started crying one day.
for
like,
the Hobbit movies, right? Because
was it the Hobbit? Oh no, it was the Hobbit. My bad.
the Lord of the
Yes.
Rings did a
Yeah.
lot. They did a
Yeah,
lot.
My
That
mistake.
is
Yes, it was
cool.
for the
Yeah.
Hobbit movies. Yeah. So it's just, and he just said like this isn't why I became an actor
Yeah.
to be isolated from everybody.
No.
So
Yeah,
I
because
get
they
it, yeah.
bonded and got tattoos and everything.
I mean, that was a
Yeah,
big
exactly.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be such a kick in the head too of such a different experience.
Yeah.
Right.
you know, like going from that to
But that
the modern
probably
day of making things.
And that probably explains why the Hobbit movies weren't as good as the original
The
trilogy.
Hobbits, well,
Yeah.
they originally were supposed to be just that one movie, but
Yeah.
the
That's what it
studio
should've been.
was like,
Maybe
we
two.
got to make
You
a
can stretch
trilogy.
it.
Exactly.
Let's milk that money
Yeah.
out of there.
Yeah,
Warner
two-
Brothers
two was
milking
just a
something? I don't know what you're
basic filler.
talking about.
Yeah.
It
That
was
sounds
just a
crazy.
basic filler.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Warner Brothers doesn't do that. They don't make more Harry Potter movies that you don't need to make.
they
I don't
won't
know.
make more Harry Potter movies because
Well,
they're making the TV show
Well,
now.
or Newt Scamander movies.
I tried to watch the last one, and I was just like 20 minutes in. I was like,
Which one is that? Cursed Child or whatever?
No,
What
no.
are you talking about?
The Fantastic Beasts
Fantastic
movies.
Beasts.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen any of them. I haven't
seen any
bothered to
Fantastic
those.
Beasts. Yeah.
It's funny because watching the first one, I was like, who is this for? Because it's not for the kids anymore. You know, it's for the kids that grew up watching the Harry Potter movies, but at the same time, it plays like a kid's movie, but I don't know. It was weird because yet again, it was kind of like the prequels where it's like, let's talk about politics in the wizarding world. But no one cares.
And it wasn't
No one
even-
cares.
No, originally she just wrote a short story and gave
Right.
it out as a holiday gift.
Yeah.
And then they just took
Is that
that
the
idea.
origins of it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and like, okay, so
Wow.
him like traveling and catching all these crazy creatures, that's a great movie. They don't do that. They show him like already caught all the creatures at the beginning of the first movie. Like, why are you not showing him like in the Amazon
Yeah.
finding these creatures and stuff like that? Instead, you get them like show up in New York with a bag. You know, like I don't know. I didn't like him. I didn't like it.
I tried getting into the.
That's
I never,
my hot take.
I never read the books, and I tried getting into the Harry Potter movies when they
Wait,
were
you
coming
didn't
out.
read the books?
Didn't read the books.
I never read the book.
Didn't-
Why? Because you were protecting freedom?
I yeah, exactly. And well, I mean, I knew that they were out. They started coming out when I had just graduated high school, and so they were. I was like, okay, I know what they are. I was like, yeah, they sound pretty cool. I'll get into them. And people around me were actually reading them a lot
Yeah.
in the army. That's okay. And then the movies are coming out, and then I tried seeing the first one, and I was like, I can't. With the extraordinarious,
Yeah.
just dubious, and I was like, I can't.
Careful
I
with
was-
those
I was like-
words.
I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
bro.
I'm gonna blow my house.
You might.
I was like,
Is there a wand in the house? 'Cause, you know.
I tried, and then I actually finally went back to them a couple years ago, and I watched all of them, and they're actually once you get past maybe like the first two,
Yeah.
which are very kiddie, for
Well,
very much.
Those
for
are Chris
children.
Columbus's
Yeah,
movies, and they are
exactly.
very. I mean, it's hard because they got to do a lot of set up the world
Exactly,
and everything.
yeah.
Like this is Quidditch,
But
you
the
know?
last like three, especially like I think the second to last one, where they're on the run,
yeah,
and every single time they get somewhere, the Death Eaters catch up to them, and
Yeah.
they barely escape like by the skin of their teeth.
yeah,
That was
Like a
great. I loved it.
Patronus.
Yeah. Yes.
yeah. And just like man, they got away with. I mean, like talk about like making a long bet on just these kids. Like where you cast them and you go, oh,
I hope you stick around.
I hope they're not like
Yeah.
drug addicts by the
I was
fourth
exactly- I was just
movie.
about to
you
say,
know?
yeah, exactly.
Well, Emma Watson just had an article saying that, she felt like a caged bird, and that's why she stepped away
Right.
for like 5 years
I
from
saw that,
acting.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you
Sure.
got
went
it.
to
I mean, their
college
whole
and just
their whole
kind of-
childhood is making those movies. You
Right.
know,
That's
Yeah.
why Joffrey, he's not even an actor anymore. He's like, I forget, working a regular job doing something.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
doesn't.
quit acting,
He
yeah.
quit
So
acting
good.
after. Yeah.
Well, he felt that he kind of gotten like stereotyped into that role,
Right.
Well,
typecast
yeah.
in that role. So
That's
he was
true.
just like, I don't know, it'd be kind of hard to find anything because he said it was kind of hard to find anything after that because nobody could see him
Oh,
as anything
see.
other than Joffrey. But
True.
he also got tired of it, so he
Right.
kinda
Well,
stepped
I
away.
would have said, "Hey, you're the little kid from Batman Begins."
that was my go-to,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, see,
Wow.
Well, because I would have loved it if so my head canon
Yeah.
in Dark Knight Rises instead of it being Gordon Jason,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
God damn it!
I
Yeah.
thought you were going to say Gordon Bombay. I was like, what?
Is that
Mighty
Gordon
Ducks?
Bombay?
Mighty
It
Ducks
would-
are here?
It should have been that kid who like.
I mean, yeah, that would have been. That
Anyway,
would've been a great
that's my
turnaround.
my great takeout.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I am in a quality podcast here.
I know, right? Right?
This
Aren't you happy
is-
you came?
I wish I had more alcohol.
Every single guest that we have, it was like, wow, this is such an amazing podcast.
Yeah,
I can't wait to come back.
It's a delicious podcast that we like to just, we're getting real.
As I see your eyes start,
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That sounded
falling
strange,
asleep
yeah.
like a cat in the heat.
Well, no, it's funny because those later Harry Potter movies,
Yeah.
I fell asleep in the theater. But that was because people were like, "Let's go see the midnight thing," and I was like, "All
Yeah,
right, sure."
those are always
See,
the
but-
terrible. Yeah.
it's not even watching a movie at midnight. It was just the experience of waiting to watch that movie at midnight.
Wow.
Like you can't do it anymore. You
No.
can't,
No,
like,
yeah.
you-
No,
now
that's-
you can reserve your seats
Yeah.
and
I have a picture of me back in high school waiting to go see Phantom Menace. And it was like it's like a whiteboard behind me, and it says like 10 hours to Phantom Menace or something like that. We were all in line, and it was like palpable, the excitement that everyone was feeling in that moment. Everyone was like, "We're all in it, yeah," like in that line, And there's and same I think with Crystal Skull was probably the last time I lined up for a movie. Was we all went in because it was like Indy's back, baby, and there was people dressed up and people watching the old movies like on like handheld DVD players and stuff, and like that was, I don't know, it is kind of a weird, like you kind of all bond in that moment in line, and that's kind of gone now because it's just like, well, I got my tickets online and I'll go within 2 minutes before the movie starts. I know exactly where my seat is.
Right.
There's not that mad dash to get that good seat.
Right. For the third one of the prequels, Revenge of the Sith, that one was at the old Winnetka Theater here in Chatsworth, and just the excitement, because the first two movies were like the culmination of finally seeing Darth Vader.
Oh yeah,
that's everybody was just talking about. It's like, what's going to happen? How is he going to do it? And same thing, like people found outlets and they were plugging in TVs and they're watching like the first two movies on DVD, and people were having lightsaber battles and people were dressed, and that has kind of died out. Like
well, like,
I'm sorry, did you just call him a light sword?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I can't let that go.
A laser sword. They're actually called laser swords. Huh?
Yeah.
When
technically they're not canon, but
these are the off-brand ones, like the Kmart light sword.
Light sword.
There was there reserved seats at the ArcLight?
Oh yeah, that was the whole selling point.
Yeah, that was the start. Yeah, but you were paying a higher premium for those ArcLight
I
tickets.
love the ArcLight. It's so great.
Yeah, R.I.P. ArcLight.
Yeah.
For some reason, I didn't think there was, and then that's why they had the usher guys. Oh, here's your free.
Yeah, the usher would come in. Hey guys, we're about to watch my favorite movies, whatever.
My name is Chad.
Hi guys, we're gonna play.
I thought I'd seen you before.
We're gonna play.
Didn't they wear like teal outfits, like little teal shirts?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I dated a girl who worked at the ArcLight,
and they had their name tags and their favorite movie on it.
Yeah.
I didn't get to
ArcLight.
my favorite movies. Kurt Russell's Breakdown from people
1996 classic.
It was a nice. It was a very good thriller. I love that movie.
That's a good pull, man.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go with like Porky's or something.
No. Double Impact with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh,
and
yes.
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Oh god.
Executive Decision with Steven Seagal and Kurt Russell again.
Stan was Pauly Shore in the Army.
Man, we're just pulling some classics out.
Joe Mantegna.
He actually,
Baby's
Pauly
Day
Shore
Out.
actually said that movie ruined his career
Really?
because he had to shave his hair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it never grew back.
Never grew back.
No,
it was just he got a choice between that movie and something else, and he went with In the Army Now. He had to shave his hair, and then the Weasel.
In the Matrix.
Yeah, the Weasel look had kind of been gone by the. It was kind of already waning at that point.
Yeah,
and so then he shaved his hair, and it was kind of like, and then he did Biodome, which was a complete miss.
I don't know if I'd say miss. It was pretty good. It brought us Tenacious D.
That's true.
It's the first movie they were in together.
Oh, that's true.
Really? Oh,
that's true. Yeah.
Wow.
Check it out.
Yeah. Well, in terms of making money, which is the
no, it was a
it
terrible flop. Yeah.
Stephen Baldwin, that's my shit.
He's one of the big Baldwins, right?
I mean, he's one of the.
I mean, physically,
yes.
He's a large man.
Damn. Well, he was our guest next week, but no.
I like Billy. Bring on Billy Baldwin.
What, Backdraft? You want a Backdraft?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Backdraft. I gotta watch that movie.
Backdraft rocks. I used to.
You know
watch
what rocks
that,
even more? Backdraft 2. No,
is there a Backdraft?
Yeah, there
is a Backdraft.
It's the old video.
It's not Billy though.
No. You remember the Backdraft ride at Universal?
Yeah. It was the stunt show kind of thing. It was like, let's go in and see fire, people. Wow. Step back. The fire may get you.
Yeah.
This is how Universal used to do rides.
It was an experience.
Oh my God! There goes the arsonist running around.
Oh.
Catch him!
It's Donald Sutherland, everybody. Wave to him. Robert De Niro. He's here.
De Niro.
That's how they would call him.
It's me, Robert De Niro.
He's not Robert. We can't legally call him Robert De Niro.
I took a screenshot of it. Speaking of De Niro, I didn't post it in our chat, but I guess it was a while ago though. But they put Heat on Disney Plus, and I saw this. Yeah, no,
hold on.
Apparently, because I saw this commercial, it was showing a scene from Heat, and I see the Disney Plus logo in the corner, and then at the end of the clip, it has it goes now presented on Disney Plus, and it says Heat, and I was like, I gotta screenshot that. That's crazy.
So you're telling me De Niro is a Disney princess?
Pretty much.
With a huge ass.
Give me
That's
all you
Pacino.
Watching my
He's in that movie
motherfucking
too.
TV.
Yeah, he's in that movie, yeah.
That line is from that movie.
Yeah, give me all you got.
Show me what you got. Show me what you got. You're watching
can't
my
wait-
motherfucking TV.
Can't wait for those characters to show up on Main Street in Disneyland.
Yeah. No.
Do the whole bank robbery down Main Street.
These guys are good.
Us, the LAPD.
God
that was
damn
the
it.
scene that was
good.
That was the scene that was playing.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you can step to the side, we will show you a scene of
Well, now that Fantasmics is out, they need something.
Robert De Niro will be played by Goofy.
Oh gosh, go. If I can't leave in 30 seconds, I gotta get out of here.
Oh man.
We're just gonna do the Heat podcast now.
From now on, yeah. Let's just do the entire movie. Ready?
Oh,
Go.
bring the heat.
Yeah.
If you're not able to walk away when the heat's around the corner, you're
You think this is a hooking game?
Oh
God.
man.
Oh, enter the.
This is
Nerdom,
what
ladies and
happens
gentlemen.
when we drink two handles.
That's
of
true.
Jerry
Not
said.
Yay! Brought to you by Skywalker Round.
Oh Lord. Do you want to take us out?
All right.
Chad?
Yeah. That's it for our Star Wars themed episode of Enter the Nerdom. Thank you for joining us once again. Amador, would you like to
Have any plugs or
plugs
anything?
or any events coming up? Your Instagram?
Well, this is coming out tomorrow, which would be May the 4th.
That's right.
Like I said, there's about 40 plus events. Go to the forums. You can kind of look up on our Facebook groups, 501st or Southern California Garrison. Definitely, if you're in the Burbank area, check out Blast for the Past. They will be having their event, I believe, starting at 4.
Nice.
Very awesome.
Very nice. But you'll be able to find the link to this episode on our Instagram at Enter the Nerdom. You can follow us there as well if you want, please.
Yeah, please.
We haven't lost you at this point.
Yeah. Also on Twitter and anything you guys want to throw out?
Just rate and review if you can on Spotify or on your Apple podcast catchers.
Yes, and
That does help.
And yeah, and I believe that's it, guys. So we're gonna take it out with exit the the galaxy's Sarlacc pit, and enter. Yeah, exactly. Enter the Nerdom. Exit the.
I had some of that garlic sauce. I got to exit out of the Sarlacc pit soon.
It comes out a little more liquidy than we'd like.
That's right.
Boba Fett just falling out. Pull out right in the bathroom.
No,
He has to go back in for his armor.
Wait, no, that's how Boba Fett should have exited the Sarlacc pit, like Ace Ventura in the Rhino.
Yeah, just
climbing
going
out,
like Frank in It's Always Sunny.
Oh yeah,
out of the couch.
Yeah.
So hot.
So hot. He's walking through the just like, get out of my way. Just waving his arms.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Thanks for having
May the
me.
4th.
May the 4th be with you. Let's all say it at once. Come on.
All right.
May the 4th be with you.